Welcome to another live stream of the Hard Rock Show. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dave.
We're back again for another episode. Tonight we've got a lot to get through as always. We are going to review the latest from Kreator, the Cruel Intentions and Melbourne band Sonic Circus, as well as go back to a classic from the mighty Dio. We're going to talk new singles from Parkway Drive, Nicolas Cage Fighter, Eluveitie Modality. We've got a hot topic on do we really care if Kiss are using backing tracks to get through this quote-unquote final tour? And we're going to be ranking some Bon Jovi's albums, the first 5 Bon Jovi albums from, last or least favorite to most favorite in our way of doing things. So a few other bits and pieces to get through as well. But like we do with every stream we get into, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. The details for that are in the description box. So do that, all the usual things that we always get you to do because it helps keep us growing and gets the engagement up, all that kind of stuff. And while you're there, check out our fantastic sponsors as well. A big thank you to Squidding, Strimping, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in that description box. So please do find them, give them a like, a follow, a share as well. It'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you want to help us out, check out our Patreon page for more information on just how to do that. But as always, though, get in the comments, give us your thoughts as we go along, say hi, all the usual things that everyone gets you to do, or that we get to do, actually, not everyone. We want everyone to be interactive and get chatty with us. So get in the comments, say hi, give us your thoughts as we go along. I'm pretty sure there'll be some interesting conversations to be had. But before we do, Dave, how you going?
Yeah, I'm good. Cold, tired, all the usual this time of year. Wishing it was summer again. Might have barbecue this weekend, just for shits and giggles. It's always good. But yeah, apart from that, just hunkering down, trying to figure out how to deal with the rising cost of living, just where we can cut some corners and where we can get cheaper food and stuff from, and what we can do with the bills and save here, scrimp there. But rather than bitching about it, just see what I can do about it. Just work with what I got.
Yeah.
Apart from that, work steady, kids are happy and healthy. It's all good, can't complain.
Well, those are the main things, aren't they? Like, they're the most important things. As long as everyone you care about is happy, healthy, and well, and all the usual things. And, yeah, that's what I always anchor myself in. Yeah. Well, that's good. Nothing much to report on this end. It's just same old same. I had a nice long weekend. I mean, not that we did much with it, just sort of used the time to sort of catch up and do sweet bugger all. Just where I could have a day. Not that I did nothing, but there's always work to do working on the show, and that always keeps you busy. But just trying to get that half day where you just take, I think I took like 2 hours to just sort of have a breath, and that was nice. So because around that it's just work, and the show stuff, but it's all busy flat out, and it's a good problem to have. We're not feeling the pinch as much yet, so we're okay so far. But once those interest rates keep on going up and up and up, then those will be the things that'll bite harder than everything else. We're not. Yeah, my driving habits are pretty like yours. Actually, don't do much, don't travel too much, and Jodie's company tends to pay for a fair bit of her petrol, so it's those little things are okay. And yeah, it's just the weekly shop that is the fuck. That's expensive now.
Crazy.
But I don't know. We try and do what we can in that regard. Feeding the dogs is probably the biggest one because those fuckers eat. But no, everything's good. Like I was saying before, as long as the people you care about are happy, healthy, well, all our kids are great, our siblings and that are great. So everyone's good. We've got nothing to cry about. It's just go through the ups and downs of life as usual. But everything's good. So keep on keeping on, and doing stuff like this is always more entertaining than not. So this keeps me well and truly distracted and keeps me out of Jodie's hair, which I'm sure she's grateful for. Otherwise, I'd be driving nuts with my manicness. All right, cool. Got some people jumping in. So Rowan is in the comments on YouTube, giving us the horns as always. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us again. Darren over on YouTube as well, saying, hey, all good to see you again too. Thank you for joining us. Dean on Facebook, hey, lads, hope all is well for you and your households. All good here, mate. Hopefully the same for you and yours. Hopefully you're all keeping well out there too. Michael, hey guys, good to see you again on Facebook too. Thanks for jumping in. Sally, hey, how cold is it? My ear froze off this morning. Hopefully not literally, otherwise you're going.
I can feel my fingers.
I want to see Sally with the Van Gogh impression going on there. But
I just think Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, it is cold, but at the same time, I don't feel it as much as a lot of other people do. So I still go to work in a t-shirt kind of thing, and that freaks everyone out. They're like, "Oh my god, what is wrong with you?"
That makes me cold just thinking about it.
That's what they say to me. But I'm always that person that as soon as I get moving, it ends up coming off anyway. So it's like, bugger, I don't bother wearing it. Only really feel it if I'm standing still for more than sort of 10 minutes. Then it's like, oh, a bit chilly. beyond that, I'm good. Ben, good to see you on Facebook, giving us the horns there. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for jumping in. Same with Basher. Good to see you as well on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. What do we got here? Dan, good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well. Good to see you on Facebook. Thanks for jumping in. Rowan's Van Gogh right now, so there we go. And Cal, good to see you as well. Hey guys, been a bit going on, been a while. Good to see you a lot again. Good to see you as well. Hopefully you're keeping well, and thank you for jumping into the stream with us here tonight. Alrighty, let's get into some random bits and pieces here. What are we going to do first? Okay, let's do the random bit of news first. I'm going to really put you on the spot here, Dave. I'm not
here we go.
remotely prepared for this at all. I'm sort of winging it as I go here. But the just in case you missed it, the Good Things Festival for 2022, that lineup was dropped today. There's a bit going on with that. So, Dave, were there any bands in particular that got your attention from that lineup?
Yeah, one. Sabaton. I've been them once before. They opened for Nightwish. I didn't know who they were, but they won me over, and half the crowd, 3/4 of the crowd at least. Yeah, most people didn't know who they were back then. That was almost 10 years ago now, but they're a fucking great band. Yeah. I'd love to see them live, but a lot of the other bands in that thing make me feel like an old man. It's just like, who the fuck are these people? It seems like young people music. It's a combination between young people's music and bands from the late 90s, early 2000s. So I'm just like, where's the guitar solos?
Yeah.
Like, so mostly not for me. Their Soulfly's on there. They'd be pretty cool to see live. Yeah. But apart from those two, it's just like, not for me.
Not for you. Well, for me, it was actually cool to see some like the variety on this lineup is pretty cool. I'm not going to go listing them all off. Just go search it up if you haven't seen it already. We'll put a post up on this on social tomorrow as well, just to see what people think of it. But Deftones, I'm not the world's biggest fan of the band, but I do like them, and I think that it'd be good to see them live just once if you're going to go down there. Tism, their first show in 19 years is going to be part of this one. So if you've never seen Tism before, they are an absolute riot. They're hilarious as all fuck. One of the funniest bands going around. So they're worth it just for the randomness that goes into their shows. But then Gojira would be pretty cool. What else we got here? Ginger. Now I like Ginger a lot. I reckon they'll be really cool to see live. Been impressed with everything they've done so far. And what would be really cool is if they managed to do something with 12 Foot Ninja and do that duet from that album. Over and Out, I think the song was called. That'd be really cool to see that. If that was possible in Melbourne, that'd be fucking awesome. Lacuna Coil would be good to see live. What else we got here? Polaris, Red Hook would be cool too. They've been doing great things or just coming back from Europe or something at the moment. They have very recently been over in Europe kicking ass and taking names on the festivals over there. So well done to Red Hook for just, keep on landing the punches at the moment. But yeah, I'd love to see them live in an environment like Sabaton, like you said, be fantastic as well. Soulfly, one of the first festival I went to, Soulfly were on that bill, so it'd be a bit of a return or closing of the circle for me. So yeah, Soulfly would be fucking amazing. They are fantastic live as well. But yeah, for those that are interested, that's what I would be curious to check out or keen to check out. It's happening in December, the weekend of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of December in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. It's all on sale by OzTix, all that kind of usual stuff. Like I said, you'll be able to find it or whatever. We'll put a post up tomorrow about it just to get people's thoughts on it. But yeah, just figured we'd start off with what people would like to see from the Good Things Festival, which has just been announced today. Got a couple of comments on that. So here we go. Before though, Nicole, hello all. Good to see you again as well. Thank you for jumping in over on YouTube. But Michael has said loads of bands on the Good Things lineup. I'm keen, especially on Tism. So there's another one there for Tism. Cool. And Rowan says, Ginger and Lacuna Coil have my attention, though. If Ginger was going to do a solo show, that's while here, I'd see that instead. That would be pretty cool. But we said in the chat, I forget who said it in the chat today, but someone said that they don't do side shows for Good Things.
I think it was Nick, yeah.
Yeah, so it might be a thing to keep an eye on. I'm not sure about that. I haven't seen or heard anything about it, but yeah, that'd be very, very cool. Here we go. Yeah, Rowan said the same thing here. Ginger and 12 Foot Ninja. Yes, please. That would be if you're going to do a sideshow, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
that would be fucking phenomenal. I would go to that in a heartbeat. That would be amazing. All right. Keep it coming. Give us your thoughts if you're up to speed on that. Otherwise, go have a look and see what there is to see. Before we move on, we're going to do a random little gig plug here tonight, which is a bit of a longer. Oh, yeah, here we go. Dan saying, see Red Hook. Their live show is wild. Yes, indeed. good. More everything you hear about that band is fantastic. So I mean, the music is great. The show is great. They're great musicians. So yes, go and check them out. What do we got here? Michael's I believe no sideshows for good things last time around. So there we go. We're getting some more confirmation of that there too. While Caesar is fucking outside looking at me going, what are you doing in there with the door closed? Like, I'm keeping the door closed because it's fucking windy, you knucklehead. What else we got here? Darren says Gojira and Ginger. So there we go. Going to get a bit of a crossover on these ones here. So yeah, keep it coming, guys. Give us your thoughts as we go along. But now in the comments, there's going to be a link to a little gig coming up. Friday, June 24. After 3 long years away from the stage, Dreadnought are returning to the Bendigo Hotel on the Friday, June 24. With them are going to be Demon Head, who we know and love here at the show, Fall and Resist, Chariot Arcana, and another band we know and love well in Rautism. So Keith, if you're here, let us know. What do they got? Dreadnought is saying we've got some new songs to play from a forthcoming EP. Very cool. Plus some tunes from right across our 25 plus years of recordings. They've also got a special guest on bass for the show with Matt Ambrose, who we've seen from a whole lot of other bands in Melbourne around the town. So grab a ticket or just show up on the night because we have fucking missed you. Doors, 7 p.m. That is Friday, June 24. Get around it. That'll be an awesome lineup. So it's Dreadnought, Chariot Arcana, Rautism, Fall and Resist, and the mighty Demon Head as main support for that one there. So that is going to be very, very cool. So get on down to the Bendigo Hotel and have a grand old time with that one. Well, let's go back to the comments. Oh, Vinny Vincent, good to see you. Thank you for jumping in. He's gone, obviously, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard settle it out in a wrestling match. Maybe they can book one for Wrestle Rock. We'll see how we go. That would be interesting. Just don't do the mud wrestling because it won't be mud.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Carla says, Tism are totally fun. Pisser to see live. One of my teachers is from Tism. Explains a lot, really. There we go. So, here we go. And Vinny's gone, Turd Fest in response to which Sally is just going with the true ew, which is, pretty much appropriate. Fair play to all involved. All righty, let's get on to some singles and get away from that sorted topic, I guess, for lack of better terms. So let's get into some music here before we soil everything going around. Let's get on to our first single of the evening. First single of the evening is the latest from Parkway Drive. It is a song called Glitch. Now, the link for this and the link for a reference track for everything we're talking about tonight is in the description box as well, but I'm also going to share them in the comments as we go. So in the comments, in the description box, go find the link for this. It's Parkway Drive with their new single, Glitch. The first new music from this band since Reverence in 2018. Dave, what did you make of it?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's heavy, lots of melody. Vocals are great. These are the type of modern metal vocals that I like. And they can hear it and they're rough, which is good. Mm-hmm. And lots of groove to the riffs, and the vocals fit really nicely in between the guitar riffs. I thought that was very cool. It's not really my go-to metal style, but yeah, this was a grower. The more I listened to it, the more I enjoyed it. This was really cool. I think this would be good to be the theme song to a WWE pay-per-view. Yeah,
that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would suit it perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what you had there for that one. That's where you. Yeah, cool. We're a bit distracted. I had to show you. I had to send you a quick DM there, which is just about something coming up. So I've sent that to you. So check that out while I go through my thoughts on this one as well. Now, this song and this band in particular, since Aya a few years ago now, I've loved the way the band has sort of evolved their sound, and it's all been natural, progressive, all those things. It's all been really, really genuine and authentic. But the groove and the swing on this one was fucking great. This punches so damn hard. And like you were saying, yeah, it's perfect for a pay-per-view theme song. It is like those old, 90s, 2000s kind of things. So it really is one of those ones that bring the energy, the heat, the punch kind of stuff. It just packs a big impact, this song. But the riff is really infectious, and the energy on this it's not a catchy song per se, but it just has a weight and impact that makes sure it stays with you. So it's not like a hook-based thing, but it's just this thing where it gets stuck in your head and stays there really, really readily. That said, there is a pretty cool hook in the chorus overall, just enough melody to sort of complement the impact and the bite of the vocals otherwise on this one. So you got that complementary facet of the growling, aggressive tone with a sort of clean vocal in the chorus, but not really clean at all. Like it's just a pitched kind of a yell versus just the full-on just in-your-face yelling that you get otherwise. As always with these guys, great lyrics. There's always a great story to tell with their songs. And the drum breakdown in particular I found was brilliant. It's a great setup for like there's a little bit of a drum break right before the really full on sort of breakdown of this, which I really thought was a good payoff moment in this song. They did that really, really well. This is killer. The video is fantastic as well. So if you get a chance, sit down and watch the video too. I'm not sure about anything sort of album-wise or whatever coming from the band, because this sort of caught everyone by surprise. They were going quiet because, we were they were taking a break for the mental health, which is all good from touring and that, but it seems like they've been working on creating some music and having some fun with that kind of stuff there. So fingers crossed we get a new album or an EP or something in the very near future, because that would be topping off what looks to be a fucking big year in music if we get another album from Parkway Drive on top of everything else we've gone through this year already. So I'm keen. Bring it on. There we go. Now, we do have a comment, but it's not about the single. It's about the previous jokes. So Vinny says, sponsored by Nutella. Sorry, shit jokes tonight when it comes back to that mod wrestling. Here we go. Oh, Gears joined as well. Good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're keeping well over there. So hello from Viking Queen. We hope you like the new song Fight for Glory. Next year we'll be coming to New Zealand and Australia on tour. We have with us Steve Lynch from Autograph and Dave Evans. Nice. Well done. Now, we did chat about your new single last week, so go and check out the stream from last week. It's online, Gears. So if you want to get our thoughts, then, please do go and check out the stream. Last Thursday, we did that our local time. So there's one for you. But pretty safe to say we did enjoy the single, didn't we, Dave?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was really good.
Cool. All righty. On to another one, which is probably one of the greatest band names of all time, with the latest from Nicolas Cage Fighter. So this is brilliant. I love the band name. But Nicolas Cage Fighter with their new single, Shrine of Wire. Link is in the comments, also in the description box. So go and check it out. This is from the new album, The Bones That Grew From Pain, which is due July 22, 2022 via Metal Blade Records. This is a band from Ballarat. This is the lead single from the album, and the band have said about the album overall, this is a quote, "Bones are an organic symbol of structure and supposed to install an image of strength and stability. So basically the record tells narratives of when those two opposites are entwined." It's a pretty deep kind of opening up with an album here, but Dave, how'd you go with this single?
Yeah, first of all, as you said, excellent band name. It's fucking great. But musically, this is really cool. There's a lot going on. There's a great composition, great breakdown towards the end. Gave it a couple of listens and was just like, I cannot make out a single word, and this is disappointing. But I was just going to move on, but I thought, no, fuck it. I'll give it another listen and I'll follow along with the lyrics that come up on Spotify. And I'm glad I did, because these lyrics are really good. It's a great theme to tackle, and there's a lot of substance. They're really well written. It disappoints me that it's lost in transition, that you can't understand a fucking word in the delivery, which is it's becoming a real pet hate for me. You go for all this effort and writing these great lyrics. These lyrics are really good. It's a good story, but I just didn't get it. And I could have just moved on, but thankfully I went back. But yeah, musically, fantastic vocals, really well done. But it's a shame you can't get the story without actually having to do that extra effort. I don't know. I'm sure people will. Some people might not. So it's missing that. But question the taste. But overall, great song, great lyrics. Just question the taste on the vocal style.
Yeah. I think that this is where, original Tim calls me black metal curious. And the deeper I go, the better I get at sort of understanding these things as it comes along. So it's also a bit of a quote unquote acquired taste, because you're sitting there and you're going, okay, you get used to hearing things done a certain way. So I enjoyed the lyrics and the story of the song. That was well done too. Didn't have quite the same problem you did, but I do understand it at the same time, where people find that might be a struggle at times, especially if you're not used to it at all. But for what this is, this just kicks off with a groove and an impact that would feel right at home on a Slipknot album. If you like Slipknot and you haven't checked out this song, you are missing out. This is a song that's going to get your attention right quick. It's aggressive, it's intense, nothing complicated, but its impact is undeniable. The use of the more ambient sort of guitar touch on this one over the top of the chorus, that's what really made that sort of element stand out to me, is the way that sort of that cleaner guitar tone that just came in over the top and was almost like a synth effect coming in there, which is a really nice touch on the chorus. It just gave it enough top end and differentiated things really, really well to show you, okay, here's the verse and so on, there's the chorus. That's the standout part that you want to pay attention to in the song. It's an instant headbanger. You'll be moving to this in no time. The groove, the swing is fantastic. I love the way this one moves. And the pure grunt is just impressive. The breakdown, I mentioned the breakdown before with Parkway Drive, but the breakdown on this one, that is fucking brilliant. That part toward the end of the song is just the perfect payoff. The song punches from top to bottom. I love it to bits. Nothing complicated in the song or the video, but it's very, very well done. If you like it heavy with a bit of bite, give this one a go for sure. This is nice and intense and very well done. Very, very cool. What have we got here? Some comments. All right. So Sally says on Parkway, from memory, I came across Parkway Drive on THRS. Nice. I like them. Chunky and groovy. Cool. Nicely. Thank you for sharing that one there. And then Darren says a bit different from their earlier work, but really like it. Yeah, they have moved. Like it's been 4 years now since Reverence, and so it's been a few years between that, and there was a couple of years between Ire and Reverence as well. Since then, it's been a very organic sort of shift. So it's not quite the same as the first couple of albums, kind of thing, but I do enjoy what they're doing these days more than the early stuff. I'm much more of a fan these days than the early stuff with Parkway Drive. But yeah, everything they've done since Ire, including Ire, has been fucking impressive to me personally. Here we go. Vinny says, I find as I get older, I find my ears are slowing down, and while it's musically tight, I can't catch on with the vocals, almost jarring, so to speak. Maybe it's where I feel like to leave this style behind. And that's possible too. I mean, there's different things for different people. That is that whole taste argument there too, David. Some people are going to be able to get into it. Some people are going to struggle more than others, and that's cool. That's just what happens. But I like it. Like I said, I'm getting more used to it. So I find it, the ones that punch me more are getting my attention a bit easier though. Cool. Nicolas Cage Fighter. Yep, like it. Not sure on the name. Okay, there's the other way then. Oh, yeah, that's right. Vinny was referring to Nicolas Cage Fighter. Terry, good to see you, buddy. He's going, hi, guys. Big fan of the Hard Rock Show. Love your work. Keep it up. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the kind words. We love having company here, and thanks for the kind words again. We love hearing that we're making a good impact out there. Alrighty, now all the singles this week have got a heavy edge, and this is no different. Oh, hang on, sorry. Sally says, just had a quick listen. I would definitely go see them. I hear Slipknot. I'm cool with it. And dude out the front is cute as, I'm sure I noticed as well. Cool. There we go. Alrighty. Nice feedback there. Alrighty, let's get on to the next one. Dave, I've got to thank you because you're the one that made sure I knew about this one in our little chat behind the scenes. This is the latest from Eluveitie. It's a song called Aidus. I think it's called Aidus, or that's something like that. Anyway, this is a non-album single as far as I can tell. It's the first new track from these guys in 3 years. It's meant to show a newer side to the band. There's a direct quote associated with this one. So the band say, definitely one of the harshest songs of Eluveitie ever. It's the sheer consequence of our spiritual journey with Atignatos. We're no longer a Celtic metal band, quote unquote, a metal band singing about Celtic history. We're Celts playing metal music from all our hearts. We're no more a pagan metal band, quote unquote. We are a metal music playing pagans. We are metal music playing pagans from all our hearts, gashing principles of our modern societies with our ancient message like a surgical blade. That's probably the best way to describe our new single. Deal with it. So there we go. I like the no prisoners taken there with the last of it when they say deal with it. So that link for that is in the comments in the description box now. It is Eluveitie with Aidus. Sorry. So Dave, you brought this to our attention. Yeah. You loved it.
Yeah, this is great. And I think they summed it up themselves pretty perfectly. They just reviewed their own single, but that's pretty spot on.
Yep.
I found this band on YouTube a couple of months ago. Julia's into this band called Fawn. They're kind of like Celtic. They're kind of pagan, but they don't have electric instruments. They're all of those other type of string and flute and woodwind instruments. It's very dark but they did a song with these guys. So I checked out some of these, and these are more on the metal side. This is fucking cool. So, unless I'm wrong, there's like 9 people in this band. So you have a massive frantic sound, heavy riffs, growling vocals. You also get the beautiful vocals from the female singer, the high operatic stuff, and it contrasts really nicely. And of course, you get the unusual instruments like harp and hurdy-gurdies and violins. And with all the ruckus that's going on in this track, you get this section in the middle where those instruments get to shine. And it's not jarring at all. It's just like the next part of the journey. So, the contrast of everything that this band is capable of just goes towards, I think, about a 6-minute song. And it's just, this band uses everything in the musical tools at their disposal. The video is fucking awesome too. But, if like me, you're in the bands like Nightwish and Epica, and you want to take the next step into something a bit more heavier, this is interesting. It's full on, but could be an acquired taste for some. I mean, I've spent the last couple of weeks bitching about harsh vocals, and
this one has plenty.
And I got to praise them in this because they're well done.
Yeah.
It probably helps that it's not in English. I don't think it's in English. It might be, but it sounds like words, so that kind of helps. If it doesn't sound like words, it doesn't work. But yeah, this is cool.
Fair enough. Yeah. Have you checked out Aidus, the last album at all, or not?
No, I've only heard a few songs here and there on YouTube.
Pretty cool. If you like this, I reckon you'll like that one. Go and check out some of their stuff because they've got some pretty cool albums. There's one album from a few years ago I really enjoyed.
Okay. The song they did with Fawn was really cool because it starts off your typical Fawn and then they bring the heavy into it. It's like, whoa, good dynamics.
Yeah, no, they're very, very good, generally speaking, at their composition. I've admired what they do there in their songwriting for a long time now. This is an epic track. The video is great to go along with it. It's epic as well. This is heavy as. It's nice and dark as well. The atmosphere on this one is really quite sort of menacing, which I thought was really well done. But the female vocal that you touched on, I thought that is just a stunning element on this song and really brings the contrast, brings the light and the shade to this track. I like the way the folk side of the band is used as an accent. They're still using it. It's still got a very prominent part, but it's still very riff-driven, very heavy overall, and the vocals, sort of that more aggressive tone, does take the lead on the majority of the song. But when they do strip it down and break it up and have that the space in there for those little other bits and pieces to shine, they've done a really good job of it. I love just that contrast between the folk side of the band and the heavy side of the band and the aggressive vocals and the female clean vocal. It was just well done. This song has a knack of just staying with you. It sticks in your head incredibly well. Just that the way they've done the pre-chorus, which leads into the chorus, it's just intense but beautiful at the same time. That space and the bang, the payoff. But the way this is put together is brilliant. It's a little bit of a longer song, but for the style of music, it's not punishing in any way, shape, or form. I think it's really well done, really well performed, really well written. But the female vocals, that to me on this, without harping on it too much, that was just goosebump stuff. The note choice, the delivery of it, the intensity and the emotion, performance. It's just combined with the video. It's like it's really just sort of goosebump kind of stuff. That was just a stunning moment in music for me for this year, at least. Like, I just thought it was fantastic. I just loved that touch. That alone got my attention. The song itself is brilliant, but that touch alone definitely got my attention in a big, big way. I just loved it. If you like anything sort of folk, pagan, Celtic kind of stuff at all, any of the sort of pipes and drums kind of thing, and the interesting note choices, shows like Vikings sort of, highlight that sort of note choice in music. If you like that kind of stuff with a really heavy edge, then you're going to really enjoy this song. I did enjoy it a lot. And hopefully there's another album coming soon, because it's been a few years from these guys as well. So we're getting a few bands that have got a bit of a break between things, and hopefully we're getting more stuff from these guys soon enough. Alrighty, more comments. So Rowan says, regarding the harsh vocals, I found that the older I get, the more I enjoy this style of vocal, but I never pay attention to lyrics, so that definitely helps. So there we go. No, but that's fair enough too. Sometimes you can just take it as a tone, and that to me works just as well in a lot of respects. I find that in particular with things like the more death metal, black metal kind of stuff, I take it more of a tone than a lyrical delivery kind of a thing, and that to me helps me take it in a different strain kind of, or different take on things, I should say. All right, geez, got a few comments here. Wow, got to scroll through. Cool. Michael says, I saw Eluveitie at the Croxton just before the pandemic, and they have fantastic live. Yes, I've heard very, very good things about them. And he also loves Elvueitie's new song, which is fantastic. Vinny says, I just had to listen to another track of theirs, Call the Mountain. Wow, going Top Gun on this one and locking on. Goose, well done. Good quote there. There we go. Nice. Sally says, like this band, haven't heard this yet. I love Celtic metal or pagan metal, love bagpipes and harps and flutes in feral mode. That's a good way to put it, actually. Check out Morrigan from Omnia, same sort of deal. Yes, very true there too. Vinny says, love the glimpses of the different instruments they're using. Also, an intelligent band. Yes, they very definitely are. And Michael says, the female singer does a song on her own with a backing track live and takes the live set to another level. Awesome. That would be cool to see. Gear in the Facebook comments has shared a link to their new song Viking Queen, which is cool. Go and check that out in the Facebook comments if you feel so inclined. But Michael says, if I can find some spare photos from the Crocs, and I'll share them in the THS Lounge at some stage. Awesome, man. Please do. I love the photos you're sharing in our Facebook group. If you haven't joined it yet, please do jump into our Facebook group. You get all sorts of stuff just like that. But yeah, that would be cool. And here's another comment, which is fantastic. Vinny says, let's see Michael Flatley dance to their material. Now that I would pay to see. That would be brilliant. All righty. One last single before we get to some conversations, and then we'll get into our album reviews. And this is the latest from the Melbourne band Modality. The song is called Hope is for the Hopeless. There is a link to this in the comments, also in the description box. So the band is Modality. The song is called Hope is for the Hopeless. It's a new single from the Melbourne band, like I was saying, produced and mixed and mastered by Ted Furuhashi of Circles. This song takes direct aim at the Catholic Church and its legacy. A quote from the band is, "The lyrics specifically address sexual abuse against children that has taken place in the Catholic Church, tackling feelings of hurt, hatred, and rage. There is a constant struggle to understand how someone could commit acts so horrific and inflict such deep trauma on another human being. Feeling that the system has failed them, the victim is left feeling lost and unhinged, and ultimately they are forced to look within to find their own truth." So there we go. Getting into some heavy subject matter with this track here. Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, this is great. As you mentioned, heavy subject matter, and this is a heavy song. Not in terms of brutality, but it's just a weight from this music that you get when you listen to it. And considering the subject matter, words and music go together hand in hand.
Yeah.
But the tone, the guitar tone sounds really heavily distorted, yet everything sounds nicely clear.
Yeah.
I don't know how they manage this contrast, but it's recorded beautifully. There's cool dynamics and changes within the song. It's prog metal, so you're going to expect a lot to go into this type of stuff. And, drums and guitar lock in nicely together. It's lots of energy, lots of complexity, and vocals are great. There's a lot. It's layered in nicely with the guitars and the other instruments, so it's just it drags you in. It makes you want to listen to see what's going on. So it's very interesting songwriting and great production on this. Good song.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it a lot too. It's funny how all four singles have been on the heavier side this week. It's just one of those weeks where it's just ran out that way. I'm sure that, we'll do a week coming up where all four singles are going to be on the softer side. It's just the way it works out some weeks. But this is technical, a little bit proggy, but it's quite dark, as you would expect from the subject matter. There is some really damn cool groove in this track. I loved how this swings and punches, particularly in the verse, the vocal delivery, the riff to go with it. That's all really well done. The bass structure of this one, how bottom heavy it is sonically, but it all, like you said, it sounds really clear. Everything is mixed really nicely. It's very well balanced. It's got a heavy tone to it, but there's also a really bright top end of this one as well, which is nicely done. Nice atmosphere in this song. But then when you get to the more open and melodic chorus, that whole thing is flipped on its head. This has great melody, a great hook in it too. It's one of those songs that will stay with you again. And it isn't just because of the subject matter, it's also the way it's delivered to you. So in both sides of that coin, you're getting every ounce of this band in one song, and it's fantastic. The composition is what ties all this together. There's a lot of light and shade. There's a fair bit going on in here, like you said, Dave. And this is just incredibly well put together. Like, there's a lot going on, like I was saying, but they've just done a really good job. There's little use of effects that add some nice different flavors here and there on this one, but the use of space for the cleaner moments is really well done as well. But this is another track that's, like the Eluveitie one. It's heavy and aggressive, but also really beautiful in how it's presented. It's remarkable for how dark the topic is, just how light this sort of song gets at points, which I found, it's something that probably shouldn't feel like it would work as well as it does, but they've really just nailed it. They've executed on this song perfectly. This for me was like a bit of 12 Foot Ninja, but with 12 Foot Ninja you get that sort of wink and a nod kind of thing. There's a bit of tongue in cheek to their kind of stuff. This is like what you get from 12 Foot Ninja when you take all that away. When there's no more smirk, no more snark. It's just, we're going to punch you in the head with some really impacting serious stuff. And that's what you kind of get from this. Just got that right kind of prog, the tones kind of lean into it a bit too. It's just a bit different, but really well put together. And the hard left and right turns just make perfect sense, which is a credit to everyone involved in this one. I'm looking forward to much more from these guys. They've got a few singles and videos out, so go and check them out, especially on YouTube. A few of the videos are there. Everything I've heard from these guys, I've really enjoyed. So I'm looking forward to getting more from them in the near future. So guys, stay in touch and let us know what's coming up from you guys, because we would love to hear more. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one thinking that after this little single review here tonight. So well done all around. Good singles all night for us here. What do we got? Some comments. Here we go. Michael says, I'm photographing for Modality this Friday at the Tote where they are supporting Mass Sky Raid. That is true. So they are playing with Mass Sky Raid, Suspiria and Modality Friday the 17th of June at the Tote in a hotel in Melbourne. So yes, Mass Sky Raid also have a new album, Calm in Chaos, out June the 3rd, which is now. So there we go. So if you like any of this, then go and check it out. But yeah, they're playing that show on Friday night at the Tote, Mass Sky Raid, Suspiria, and Modality. So there we go. There's another gig to plug there as well. Michael also says, I first came across my Modality via Nigel, whose previous band, Branch Arterial, I was a big fan of. Loved his vocals in Branch Arterial, but he stepped them up in Modality. Yes, definitely true there. The vocals are a big highlight on this one. And Darren says, impressive. Have to check out more from them. Please do, and let us know what you think, because I've loved everything they've done. I reckon it's always different. It's always been interesting, but they've done a really good job with all their songs. So yeah, give us your thoughts when you get a chance to check them out. All righty. Get to some conversation points, and then we'll get to the album reviews. First up is the hot topic for tonight, and this is an interesting one. It's an area we've covered before, but I'm going to make it really specific to the band, and that is Kiss. And there's a lot of chatter over the last week or so about using backing tracks. Paul Stanley got caught out in a moment where things didn't quite go to plan, and wasn't as dramatic as other backing track mistakes we've seen this year included. What was that other band that we saw? That's the one. My God, what a joke that was. So nothing quite like that. This is a very small moment, but the reason why this is getting so much attention is because people like Gene Simmons have been openly critical of other bands using backing tracks, and now it seems that they're getting caught out in this one. And the question is more specific. It's like, do we really care at this point in time that Kiss are using backing tracks to get through this quote-unquote final tour? It probably will be the final tour. I'd have to think it would be the last tour for these guys with everything going on. But Dave, do you care?
No, I don't care. I love Kiss. I've been a Kiss fan for most of my life, and I know Paul used to be one of the greats, so it is sad to see he's not what he once was. But the guy's in his 70s. He's had surgery on his throat. He gave his all for decades to entertain millions of fans around the world. Yeah. So whatever he's done to his throat was for his audience. And, Kiss, they're a band, you either love them or hate them. Haters have always complained about them. And fans that love them will go and see them. And we know Kiss aren't what they used to be, but they're still Kiss. We'll go see the concert because it's Kiss. This will be the last time. Just to clarify, Kiss have only had one previous retirement goodbye farewell concert before this, and that was 2000, 2001. And that was because Peter and Ace couldn't hack it anymore. And Gene and Paul realized they had some more. But yeah, I don't care. I don't see why people are studying every little thing that they do and making YouTube videos out of this. Okay? It's just really sad. Do something more constructive with your life, people. Mm-hmm. And it's not like he's miming completely. He's got a live mic. The backing track's there as a safety net, basically.
Yeah.
But I don't care. They're not trying to win any new fans. They've got nothing left to prove. If you like Kiss and you want to spend your money on them, cool. If you don't, shut the fuck up. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's funny how these things become almost the equivalent of a circle jerk on YouTube content, and we're no different ourselves here. We're talking about it, but we're talking, the spin on it is, the case of, do we care? Do I care? No, I really don't anymore at this point in time. I think that it's been well documented. Like, it's funny because Kiss are one of the biggest bands in the world, whether you love them or hate them. They are fucking monstrous. They are huge. So everything they do, whenever it goes quote unquote wrong, is picked apart to the nth degree. This is no different, and it will be the way until they call it a day entirely. Now, this is also a bit of people taking a swing back where they can because of people like Gene making comments about other artists using backing tracks, which have come back to now bite him in the ass, but also because of things like, he's been very vocal in saying things like rock is dead and stuff. So people, when they get a chance to punch back, they're going to do it. And that's what's happening in the context of the conversation, in my opinion, anyway. But the interesting thing about it is that with all the previous documentation and things going wrong, we've all known that Paul's voice has been struggling for quite some time. We've had the greats, quote unquote, in this sphere of things, like Eddie Trunk saying time to give it up, and it's okay. Well, they're trying to get out and give it one last tour, and it's been postponed by a couple of years because of a thing called a pandemic. So this would all be done by now. You got to remember, this would actually be finished. They'd be actually retired and be off to the sunset by now if it wasn't for what's happened over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, do I care about him using backing tracks? No. I mean, they're not the first, they're not the last, they're not the only band using backing tracks as cover. And it's not as though he hasn't got a live mic like you were saying. He definitely does. It's just the backing tracks are there, obviously, to help him out, so that if he can't hit a particular note, well, then he just sort of lets that one sort of go through to the keeper. They're not a lot of bands doing this sort of stuff. I think that The only thing I'd say about it is, maybe be a little open about it because that's what Gene has criticized others before. But at the same time, I don't think you need to have like a disclaimer on your ticket. I think it's just, just put on a social or say in the show, just so you know, my voice ain't what it used to be. So I'm using a bit of help here and there to sort of get me through. Hope you don't mind and just enjoy the show anyway. That's if anyone even comments. I don't think anyone going to the shows themselves have really sort of gone, oh my God. Yeah, no one's given a shit. So you're going to see a show, and I get the purists, and a lot of people bang on about, don't use fucking backing tracks. And, in the case of Santa Cruz, that's a bit extreme. Like, that was...
And Archie Cruz is, 30 years old? Paul Stanley's fucking 7.
Yeah, there's a sliding scale here of, when you can get away with it. I think that Paul's earned the right to sort of just try and get through this tour a bit more, and they've made a commitment to a lot of people. So it's a big thing to sort of let that many people down, especially in the context of the last couple of years. If you suddenly turn around and say, sorry, we're not going to do this tour anymore, I can't hack it. I think people would rather have this last chance to go and see the band, regardless of the circumstances on the stage, versus that's it, see you later, can't go no more. Like, give a chance to say goodbye. I know it's been done before and it's marketed to death and so on and so forth. That's a different conversation. But in this context, the promise has been made. I think just see it out and be done with it. And it's not like it's the whole thing. It's just, here and there, some cover. Not we saw Motley Crue's final tour before they got back again, and they were using women, backing vocalists to cover Vince. So I don't care what method you use, if it's backing tracks or if it's people covering a vocalist who's not quite there, is nothing new. I mean, at least it's not auto-tune. That would ship me to tears. If it was blatantly, it might be, but at least not blatantly obvious. That'd annoy me more. But no, it's still a live performance. I think you can still enjoy it. And like I said, I don't think the fans that are paying their money to go and see their shows care. I think they'd rather get the show than to miss out. So that's my take on it. Do I really care? No. It's a long way of saying I don't give a shit, because I just think that it's a really non-starter of an issue in this day and age. I just think that, I've seen Steel Panther, and I know Mike Starr uses backing tracks to help cover in his live vocal, and I don't care. I think it's fucking fantastic anyway. So
Steel Panther are great live.
Yeah, what's the difference? Like, I get the take a shot back where you can, but honestly, I've got better things to worry about. It's just an interesting sort of conversation point to go through. But anyway, that's my thoughts.
People make a joke out of it sometimes. When they did Weenie Ride, they said that song was 90% live.
And it is still majority live. That's the thing about it. It's not like it's a phoned in performance. It's not a Milli Vanilli moment kind of thing. It's none of those things. It's just sort of like, okay, well, here we go. We're using some help. It's back in the mix. It's just so I can just sort of have some cover and help them out a bit. And I don't really have a problem with it. I don't know. It's really interesting to watch how that's blown up on all the articles and all the YouTubers, and it's just been nuts. It's like, fucking wow, really? This much effort on, honestly, a syllable? Like, he just came in late. That was all it was. It wasn't like he completely missed it. He just came in late. So, no. Oh, well. It is what it is. Let's see what we got here. We got some, all right. Jeez, okay, cool. Alrighty, Vinny says, I agree, Dave. And in addition, even after almost 50 years, the show is still one of the best you'll see. There we go. Nikki, good to see you, Nikki. She's got the first words I hear are circle jerk. Hi, lad. So there we go.
You come to the right place, Nikki.
You have, Nikki. You've joined us at just the right time. Hey, Nikki, the link is there for you. If you want to jump in and join us for the Bon Jovi stuff, we're going to do it in about 2 minutes. So if you want to jump in, let us know, Nikki, and I'll happily incorporate you into the Bon Jovi album ranking in just a moment. Darren says, I don't care. I like Kiss, but Gene has always been a dick. And this is, again, we're not seeing anything new from Kiss. This is nothing we haven't thought of before. Not like it's a suddenly new revelation. Oh, my God. It's like, he's been a dick for years, and we know that, Paul's voice is, on the way out. So, I'll be really shocked. Sally says, Kiss will always be who they are, and the Kiss fans will always be. I wouldn't pay to see them live ever again. I saw them when they were still worth it. All things have a season. Theirs is well and truly over for me, backing track or not. I still listen to them and enjoy the songs I always have been into. So there we go. It's not going to change any fans' perspective on this band by now. Mm-hmm. Vinny says, I wish I had a backing track while in a debate with my better half on any topic involving metal versus pop. You could do it, Dave doesn't pre-record your argument. That'd work.
Yeah, I did that one.
That worked well. Basher says, a fan of Kiss going back to the 70s, love their songs, image, and have given me a lot of pleasure. If they use some backing tracks, so be it. I don't care. So there we go. Nikki says, fair point, dude is 70, could have retired years ago. It's not about money anymore. While Caesar decides to lose his absolute fucking mind out there. Oh, hello. Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with that dog in a moment. But Nikki says I'm home. So Nikki, jump on the link. Hit the link. Jump in here.
Yeah. Well, with your Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, you've been doing this for what 50-something years. It's not easy to step away from your life because you step away from that.
Yeah.
What's next? Death.
Well, you're a long time retired, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, Ozzy retired in what, 92, 93, and then he came back saying, retire from what?
Mm.
You do it until you can't fucking stand anymore.
Yeah.
Ozzy's gonna, he'll tour if he can, but it'd suck having to step away from the thing that you love doing. It's not even a job for your entire life, and then that's it. You can't go anymore. It sucks.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit rich for people to call on someone else to retire. I mean, the market will work it out. People aren't going to buy tickets anymore. Well, then you can't. Then you've lost it. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. Yeah, don't know about that, but it's interesting. The way that people want to. I'm not a huge you're the bigger Kiss fan out of us all here. Like you, Nikki, and Mick are probably the three biggest Kiss fans I know. And that's saying something, but it's not going to change anyone's opinion one way or the other at this point in time in their career. They're saying goodbye, and they're a long time retired, like I was saying, and they haven't done a studio album in fuck knows how long now. What is it? It's getting close to 10 years since the last studio album.
If they came out in wheelchairs and did acoustic slowed down versions of God of Thunder, that'd be awesome. Gene spits his dentures out while the blood just drills in his stomach ulcers.
It's the retirement home version. That'd be what it is.
Bring it. Still pissed.
It would be interesting. Fuck. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting one, that one. But yeah. Michael has shared some photos of Eluveitie Modality just now in the TRS Lounge. So please do go and check it out. Please do. Thank you for that, Michael. Really do appreciate it. And Sally has got a question for us. So, Andrew, I have a metalhead question inspired by Nudes, our good friend Nudes. What's the strangest thing you've witnessed in a mosh pit? So, Dave, I'm going to throw to you first on this one for a second. I'm going to get Caesar and just let him in here for a minute. So you go and you just take the reins there for half a minute.
Okay. This was actually only a few weeks ago. It was at the Lagerstein gig I went to. And it's not really all that strange, but after the Wall of Death and everyone's been beating the shit out of each other, a couple of seconds later, a pair of spectacles found their way up on stage. And the guitarist was like, oh, we have a lost pair of specs. And, it all got sorted out. The person found their spectacles. And then they're making jokes about long time no see. Pirate joke. Haha. Long time no see.
Radio.
Yeah, it became a whole thing that, someone lost something. We found it for you. Go a little back. Everyone's good and happy. Back on with the show.
Nice.
So one minute people are trying to kill each other. The next minute they're helping each other out. That's the life of metal. It's really beautiful.
All right. Well, we do have Nikki with us. Good to see you, Nikki.
Hi. Hey. I'm totally unprepared, but you did say Bon Jovi. You hit a hot button. I'm going to wing it.
All right. Well, before we get into that, a random question for you, Nikki.
Okay.
What is the strangest thing you've witnessed in a mosh pit or a live show? What's the strangest thing you've witnessed?
A girl giving the sound engineer head at the sound desk, and it wasn't me. I just want to say that it wasn't me, just in case anyone had any ideas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yep.
Actually, I got another one.
Yep.
Blind Guardian, when I saw them at Max Watts. This fucking 6-foot Viking dude. He's there. He's got the full metal Viking gear.
Yeah.
And he's got his mate, and it's like Mini Me from Austin Powers, mini Viking dude. And they got that little pit at Max Watts. They're standing on the top shelf and they're fucking going nuts. The big guy picks up his little mate by the fucking scruff of the neck and just tosses him into the pit.
Oh, wow.
If that was your other one, I'd love to know what your first one was. Sorry, I actually missed that one.
Just the Lagerstein gig a couple of months ago. Someone lost their spectacles during the Wall of Death, and then they ended up on stage, and the guitarist like, "Who lost their specs?" And the person got up there and everything. Then they're making jokes about long time no see. See being the pun on
Another very cute one I do remember was I went to a gig with Wayne. I think it was in Geelong from memory, and it was the boys from Triple Kill, which coincidentally I'm wearing tonight, and that was not planned. They were making Vegemite sandwiches. Don't ask me why on stage. It's just a Triple Kill moment.
You
And
can't
Wayne
get more
was
Aussie than that, man.
cranky and hungry as fuck. He was cranky. We'd driven all day. We had no time to stop. We're running late for the gig. And somehow I miraculously caught a Vegemite sandwich that one of the boys had made and threw into the crowd. And I handed it to Wayne, and he's just inhaled it. But I actually got a photo of him eating the sandwich, and the smile on his face, it was like he'd fucked Miranda Kerr. He was just in heaven. He was just so happy. I will actually find that photo and post it for you.
Yeah, send it through and I'll put it on the page because that's awesome, Nikki. That's
It was just pure dumb luck. I ended up with a sandwich, but by God, did Wayne enjoy it?
Yeah.
If he had Vegemite all over his face, he could have slept with Amber Heard.
Oh my God. Oh, here we go again.
Depp's got herd immunity now. I saw that one the other day. That amused me.
What was that?
Johnny Depp's now got herd immunity.
Oh my God. Fuck, here we go. For me, damn, I can't follow any of that. It's more to do with just randomized fuck ups. We had an event at a venue we used to book out a lot, and the power went out completely one night, as in completely out. There was no power at all, right up to the point where bands on stage. We ended up starting off sort of acoustic, and then power came back on. You sort of progressively went to sort of more electric as things went on. That was one of the strangest things, not as a mosh, but just sort of organizing events. I'd have to say that the fun and games behind the scenes with our first extravaganza in particular, that was just a wild night across the board. All in good fun. It was all good, but just fuck me dead. There was some just nothing illicit or illegal or anything like that. Just the way that people, when they get into party mode, it's a lot of fun. I think that, it's not really mosh pit worthy, but the things we used to do at the old studio, Dave and Nikki, like what we used to get up there.
So many good times at that studio. Yeah. My goodness, we had some fun.
The dinosaur.
Yeah.
Jimmy, playing ping pong on the ping pong table. Yeah. I've got photos of that too.
Yeah,
I've got photos of all of you guys from that studio. We had a dress up for Halloween. Dave did full face paint.
Yeah,
that was a really good night. You all dressed up and looked amazing.
Jimmy running around the dinosaur suit, both at Legions of Steel and at our set one day as well.
Yeah,
that was up there. What else?
I just love him playing ping pong in the dinosaur suit. That one stays.
That was great. But him also playing Pat Cash was a good little treat as well. There's a video of that kicking around somewhere. So I'm sorry, it's a bit off topic, but this is sort of like these are the strangest, most memorable things, and just the carry on that we like Dennis and his big fucking glass. Remember that?
Yes.
That was fucking insane. Like trying to film with him.
The first Judas Priest Iron Maiden taping.
Yes. That was,
not that I can say anything these days. I think I've replaced it in some ways. Not the good ones.
Yes, the Montbold.
The Montbold is up there, Nikki. And today is like the anniversary of the Montbold, isn't it?
Is it? Did it come up in a Facebook memory somewhere? I haven't looked. Oh.
So the Montbold's there as well.
Do you remember the first time I came and I spewed in the toilet and on the couch?
Yeah.
And that was the first night I met Brendan, but I don't remember meeting him. And I nearly never came back because I was so ashamed and mortified that Jodie had to clean my spew from the toilets.
We had to talk you into coming back again because you were that embarrassed. I thought it was
I nearly never came back. I was so ashamed. I still stand by someone spiked my drink at the party I was at previous to coming to you. I really do think that happened.
I remember you rocking up in the Uber and the drinks falling out of the car before you fell out of the car and rolling under the car and us fishing your drinks out from under the Uber car before you got out of it completely. That was one of the funniest things I've seen. That was brilliant.
Do you know the home from Frankston to Cranbourne to Frankston cost like $350?
Yeah, it was ridiculous, wasn't it?
I'm going to assume I spewed in it or something. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah,
but I certainly saw the $350 charge. Woo!
Yeah. So whilst it's not quite mosh pit worthy, that's there's some strange moments for you, Sally, behind the scenes here at the show. We've got a lot of it documented. We haven't got your Nikki's Technicolor extravaganza on tape, so that's okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but we have a lot of the other stuff on tape. I think one of the other ones too is just strange moments when the dogs would try and fuck each other on the set.
Oh,
That, when you're trying to do this sort of stuff, when you're filming with an audience and the dogs are like, yeah, cop this bitch. And it's like, fucking hell, what are you doing? And they're not small dogs. Like, it's 150 kilo going at it. So it's like, all right, off we go then.
I've got a photo from one of those Cranbourne filmings. It's one of Dennis's mates. I can't remember his name. I feel like it was Fuzzy or something like that.
Yeah, Gareth.
But he was like asleep. He was full on
Yes.
asleep.
We were taking selfies with him when he fell asleep.
Yeah, he fell asleep in the middle of the show.
There's some photos of him just sleeping while you're filming.
So that was, I do miss that place for what it was and what we did there. There was some fucking great times there. And there's a whole lot of stuff that hasn't seen the light of day because it's all just locked in the can. When Tabitha got the cookie in her eye.
Yeah.
That was fucking crazy. When the better halves imitated us.
That was excellent. That was a really funny show when the three girls took the piss out of you. And my God, those girls knew their boys. They had the idiosyncrasies, the little mannerisms. It was very, and Chantel was doing a lot of this. It was very well done.
Yes. So there's some fun ones for everyone there. Just sort of go back in time and not really mosh pit worthy for my one, but I couldn't beat what you guys had, so I figured I'd go down a different path and have some different fun in there instead. What do we got here? We've got some comments, which is cool. Michael says, strange thing I've seen in a mosh pit is where people sit down in the middle of the pit and do a rowing action. Yes, I've heard of it.
They did that Lager style.
Row in action. See
here we go. Here we go. I see what we did there, Nikki. What else? All right. So Sally says, me too, Nikki. Not the sound desk. It was a dude on his knees actually in the pit. Nude saw someone take a crap in the pit so they didn't miss Veruca's salt. Wow. Okay. That's, as Basha says, that's gross. Obviously, clearly inspired by Amber Heard. Right. Yep. Vinny says, I was at the infamous gig at Calder Park in 93 with Gunners and Skid Row that was mental. Stinking hot, Gunners disgracefully late, then the torrential rain. Yes, that one is one of the all-time great stories there. But Sally says, doggo porn in response to what I was talking about before. There we go. All right. Let's get into the reason we brought Nikki into this one, because she did tease in our little crew chat that she might jump in for this. So we've twisted her arm and managed to get her in here for this. And we're going to play a game where we rank the first 5 albums from Bon Jovi, the studio albums, from worst to best, in our opinion. Now, the reason for this is because of Alec John Such recently passing away. We're going to do an episode around this sort of stuff in the near future as well for TV. But we figured we'd just jump in and just sort of quickly go through. These are the 5 albums he's credited with. I'm not interested in getting to the debate on who played what and all that kind of crap. It's just these are the ones.
I might have to take notes here because I misread the brief. That's okay. I just don't want to forget the albums. I'm just going to make a note, a literal note. I'll try and help me on technology. It's
self-titled, the 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, slippery and wet.
Hold up. I can do this.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, so in release order, not preference, just release order.
Yeah.
We've just got here Bon Jovi self-titled.
Yep.
7,800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep.
Slippery when wet.
Yep.
New Jersey.
Yep.
And Keep the Faith.
All right.
Those are the 5 albums you've got to rank from worst to best in your personal order. Before we get stuck into it, Polar Nights over on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. Good to get some Twitch action on here tonight. No cigar. We're actually from Australia, so there we go. Pretty close though. A good guess. No, not Kiwi though. I have family that are Kiwi, but no, I don't. I'm not a Kiwi myself or any of us here, as far as I know. Neither of you are. Nikki.
No. My best friend outside of the Hard Rock shows a Kiwi. Does that count?
It's close enough, I guess. No, we're from Melbourne, Australia. So there you go. That's where we're from, Polar Night. So hopefully that helps you out with that one. But hopefully you're enjoying the show, and thank you for jumping in and leaving a comment. Love it. Alrighty. So while Nikki has a chance prepared, Dave, brief. Okay, but we'll go to Dave first. Rank your albums from worst to best.
Okay, worst to best. Worst is Keep the Faith. Cut his hair and his balls off. So,
wow.
When we're going into the 90s, I can see him becoming more boy band and grunge. Everyone changed their sound, so that makes sense, but still, no. Fahrenheit, Bon Jovi, underrated. That album's really good. New Jersey, first half is great. Second side is average, but the first half is enough to justify the whole album. And of course, Slippery When Wet is number 1.
Wow. Okay, I have a very different list to you.
Wow.
Really different list. Cool. Oh, Polar Nights, here we go. Good evening from Norway. Good to see you, and hopefully you're enjoying your time on the other side of the world up there. So thank you for joining us this evening. All right, Nikki, your turn. Rank the albums from worst to best.
I thought Dave and I were going to play twinsies there for a moment, but we're not. Before I rank my albums, I've got some cool show and tell.
Ooh,
there's
nice.
a disc of Slippery When Wet.
Yep.
Nice.
And there's a picture disc of New Jersey.
Yep.
So I just thought I'd show them off because they're cool.
This is why I wanted you in, because I know that you're a big fan of these albums in particular. So.
All right. So number 5, exactly like Dave, is Keep the Faith. And I don't actually even have that one on vinyl. Only on whatever that thing is.
I don't have that album at all.
Can you believe I'm sober? My God, I haven't had a drink for days. Next for me was New Jersey at number 4.
Wow.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not as good. This is where it's going to get controversial. I've got Slippery When Wet at number 3.
Wow.
Yes, I might be unpopular with these choices, but they're my choices and I stand by them. Self-titled, number 2.
Wow.
And my all-time favourite ever Bon Jovi album out of all of them is 7,800 Degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Okay. And Have a Nice Day can get in the fucking bin. That was a pile of shit, but, it wasn't in zero, thank the Lord. So, Slippery When Wet all the way down to number 3 for me. I like the first 2 better.
Jeez. Wow, do I feel out of place on this? And I've got an entirely different order to you guys, like wildly different.
Are you going to say New Jersey first? Let's wait and see. I
am going to piss you off, Nikki, though, because my least favorite was 7,800 Degrees Fahrenheit. I thought that was that's second album blues, man. Second album blues. That just did not. The first album was a lot better. It wasn't a bad album. It wasn't a bad album. I actually listened to all 5 of these today while I was working. I listened to all 5 of these today, just for reference here. But I don't dislike 7,800, but I just think it's a victim of the other albums by comparison. It's like after the self-titled album, it's like, wow, that felt like a step back. It's still good, but it felt like a step back. But it's funny because then number 4 is the self-titled album. That was my 4th. There we go, just to really fucking stir the pot some more. Then I'm going to really, again, keep going different to you guys. So Keep the Faith was number 3 for me. It is a bit of a 50-50 kind of an album, but I thought it was still stronger. Like the high points on that were stronger than the high points on the self-titled album. I think the self-titled album is one of those ones where they've been singing those songs, they're refined and all sort of stuff, but I just thought that, Keep the Faith had just bigger moments on it for mine. Then, that you've got the 2 left, which are Slippery When Wet and New Jersey. And I am going to put New Jersey in number 1, which means the Slippery When Wet comes number 2 for me. So
holy Rick Andrew.
We have some incredibly different lists in this one. I just thought that New Jersey, for me, I know that Slippery When Wet is probably for a lot of people out there, especially people that maybe aren't as familiar, but I think that New Jersey just has stronger songs across it. Not by a huge amount, but it's just got stronger songs across it for me. So there we go. That's my pick. That's my order. Let us know out there in the comments. We've got some comments coming through on this one. So
someone please agree with Miss Nikki on 7,100 degrees. And if we all thought the same thing, how very boring would it be? So, it's good to be diverse.
I'm glad it was so different, actually. Vinny says, I'm going to go with Keep the Faith last, self-titled, then 7,800, then Slippery, then New Jersey. Clarifying with New Jersey was end-to-end awesome. So at least I'm the only one with the New Jersey in there as well. So
it was second for me. It's a good album.
Sally's gone, does the Young Guns solo album count? Because I still like that and belt out Bloody Money because it's a great song and lyrics. What I remember most about Bon Jovi is not the music. It's being young enough to be completely defenseless to John's animal magnetism. Dude was hot as things changed, though. So there we go. When it comes to Young Guns,
on CD as well as record, that one, Sally. Yeah, I like it too.
I didn't include that one in this process because we're going with the bass player kind of thing there. But when it comes to that album, yes, I've been a fan of that album for quite some time. When Blaze of Glory came out, that was like, oh my fucking God. And then the album itself, whilst it's songs, for and inspired by, Young Guns too, but I thought it was a very, very well done album. I do enjoy that album quite a bit, to be honest. So it's a good one for mine.
You want a piece of Nikki trivia?
Here we go.
I won a competition on what was then Eon FM because I sung Blaze of Glory, the song, and I won the top 20 albums of the day. Thank you, John Bon Jovi. True story. Never forget it.
That's cool. What do we got here? Basher says, my worst to best ranking is Keep the Faith at the bottom, New Jersey, and then Slippery When Wet at the top. Not familiar with the first two albums. I haven't really included those ones. So Keep the Faith, New Jersey, and then Slippery When Wet. So there we go.
You need to unfuck that, dude.
Not by my opinion, but anyway.
Dave agrees with me. Did you have self-titled as your second, Dave?
Self-titled was third.
Third. You had Slippery When Wet first.
Yeah. New Jersey was second. New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then self-titled was third.
Yeah.
Dave almost agrees with me.
We got some different ones, but just on the note, the reason for this conversation is because Alec John Such has passed away. So again, our condolences. We did touch on that when it happened, but yeah, Vinny's just gone Barley, Alec John Such. So yes, very well put there. Darren's got his list in. He's gone Keep the Faith last, 7800 fourth, New Jersey 3, Bon Jovi 2, and Slippery When Wet 1. So there we go. Some different lists coming through. Yeah. So. Like, we've all got different rankings, which is actually a really, really interesting conversation. I'm glad it's turned out the way it has because it's fucking, really cool. Really, really cool. I did enjoy it a lot. Oh, hang on, dog, don't chew on that. That's power cable.
Oh, shit.
Speaking
That's
of
not going wrong with the Dave.
sorry. Sorry, is it to stop the dog from chewing on a power cord? That was, he has a knack for chewing on things that he shouldn't be chewing on. That's your bed buddy, Nikki.
Oh, my little bed buddy. At least we have power down here in the most southern states of Tasmania. No. Can you believe we're in 2022 and New South Wales and Queensland are talking about power restrictions? Like, what the actual fuck? Totally not music related. Sorry, guys, but blows my mind.
There's your bin, Nikki.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I owe you guys an apology. I don't know if it was obvious. I was a bit drunk when I saw you the other night.
No, you were good. It was all fine.
You did fine.
Really? You didn't notice me exit rapidly, and I realised later I didn't do a bin.
We didn't do one for that episode.
I know. Lucky for me, right? Yeah, no, sorry. You probably would have put me in there.
It would have been worse if you actually did one because none of us else did.
I would have rambled on about what grinds my gears and whatever else I repeat a million times.
We're all in this together, Nikki. We're all in this together.
That's the one. There's a one for you.
Here's a random one. Vinny's gone. I reckon they lifted their game on These Days and Crush. Both have tracks to suit any mood. What do you guys think of that statement?
If I hadn't done my top 5, These Days would have actually been number 5. Absolutely agree. Love that album. Love, love, love. Not so much with Crush, but definitely These Days.
What are we saying, Dave?
I don't think I've heard those albums, so can't comment.
Yeah, I'm the same. I haven't really paid close enough attention to give an in-depth opinion. I mean, we'll have to do something on that at some point. Be one of those never-ending list of things to get done. It's just going to be.
I would be very, very surprised if you boys played that album and didn't recognise at least one song. I reckon there's one that's on the radio.
Probably ones that have been played on radio.
All right, let's go. What were you saying, Dave?
I didn't hear what you said, Dave.
Oh, there's bound to be some songs from those albums that have been played on radio. I'm bound to recognise a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see. I'm going to quickly scroll through. Where is it? Which one are we talking about again? Sorry, it's all I'm scrolling through albums. Jesus Christ.
These Days, the song. Oh my God, I cannot read that. I'm sober, by the way. I haven't had a drink. I just cannot. It's too small for my blind eyes.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
unfortunate.
Oh, Something for the Pain, the self-titled track.
Yeah. I know that song.
Has this? I'm pretty sure it's got one of my favourite songs on it. Oh my God, but I can't read. I love it. Yeah, My Guitar Lies Bleeding in My Arms. That is one of my all-time ever favourite Bon Jovi songs ever. Mwah.
Cool.
Mwah.
Oh, yeah. Vinny's gone, It's My Life. Yeah, I know It's My Life. But also, Darren says One Wild Night is a great fun song too. So there we go. I get some good feedback on those ones. So we wanted to do a bit of a deep dive, work out when the anniversary kind of lands. We'll try and do a deep dive into the career there as well. Nikki, did you want to hang around for Sonic Circus, or are you just going to bail?
Oh, part of me does want to, but the other part of me, like, I've listened to it clearly, but not yesterday or today. I'm like, I have no thoughts gathered. I'll just give a generic thought.
All right, we'll do a review, and then we'll get Dave, and then we'll go to you, and then I'll give my thoughts last. Yeah, shall we get into the first review, and then I know you haven't listed the other stuff, so I'll let you get off the hook on that one. But I figured Sonic Circus you might have had a chance to give us into, so that's right. Before we move on, though, Sally's gone. Nick, what album was Blood Red Rose on, Nikki? That album and song was pretty good. You sing that too, very cool melody.
Oh, nah, don't know off the top of my head, and I can't read. It's not this one, though. I can tell you it's not on this one. I would have to get my glasses out and work it out.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, speaking of Crush, there's Crush for those that were talking about it before. Yeah, no, I've had a blank, Sally. I'm terrible.
All right, terrible. Sorry, I'm not pulling anything up that's helpful at this point in time, so my apologies. Vinny says These Days, I think, in response. So there we go.
Yeah, maybe it is.
Maybe it is on that one.
All right. Pretty much one I couldn't read.
All righty. Well, let's move on, and then Nikki can mosey on along, and then Dave and I will bring it on home. Oh, cool. Here we go. Sally's got it. And then final track on These Days, apparently. So there we go. Vinny's confirmed final track on These Days. There we go. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you for the chop out there. We all appreciate it. But in the comments, in the description box, moving right along now, we're going to go on to the latest from Sonic Circus. The single I've chosen, the track I've chosen for everyone to have a reference of is The Last Train Coming, which is the closing track on the new EP. This is, that's there in the comments, in the description box. So the band is Sonic Circus. The song is Last Train Coming. That is what we're going to talk about next. So this is Sonic Circus with Rise. 5 tracks, 22 minutes. The new EP from the Melbourne band was released independently June 2022 and comes after the debut album Everything back in 2020. This is a rewriting and re-recording of the band's original demos that was put together in a new, neat little package here. Self-produced by the band with vocals recorded by Chris DeMelco at Monolith Studios. Followers of ours, for a long time in particular, should be no stranger to this band, Sonic Circus, because Jimmy, the vocalist, used to be one of our main co-hosts on the show going back a few years ago now. So we've always had a lot of love for his projects from Dead Star Renegade through to Sonic Circus. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this one as well. But without any further ado, let's find out. Dave, how did you go?
Yeah, this is cool. You know, it's always cool to hear music from Sonic Circus. You know what you're going to get, and they're always reliable. And yeah, the band sounds great. Jimmy's vocals are as good as ever, and there's some really good lyrics throughout these songs. Now, as soon as I put it on, and Black Songbird came on, just like, hang on, I've heard this. So I'm glad you clarified that these are re-recordings. I wasn't sure if they were like remixed or remastered or whatever, but so they're re-recorded, are they?
Rearranged and re-recorded. So there's some different vocals, so different lyrics, new tracks, some rearrangement of the songs as well. So yeah, that's all very much updated. Yeah.
Yeah, because I went looking for my hard drive I knew I had Songbird somewhere, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, from what I remember of it, this is they've cut the fat. I don't know if they cut the fat, but this sounds great compared. The last one's kind of good anyway. What the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, this is cool. The song, This Feeling, cool follow-up, 1-2 punch to open the EP. Gotta love the guitar solos. Fucking great guitar tone, great performances. Nice change of pace with My Princess. Really like the lyrics on that one. Lyrics are great throughout, but that's got a really nice little story to it. And once again, guitar solo. Last Train Coming. That just paints a perfect image. Sitting at a station late at night. You know, everyone's had to deal with that shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good ending to the EP, and that would be a great close to a live set. 6-minute, great soloing, great performances. Only thing I wasn't sure about the 1-minute intro, the self-titled 1-minute thing on a 4-track EP didn't really need something like that. If it was an album, yeah, but I think I'd just go straight to the Black Songbird. But yeah, it was cool for what it was. But overall, great follow-up to the EP they had 2020. And as I was listening to it, I was hearing those old songs. I'm just like, yeah, I know this. It's cool to have them all touched up and polished up and available on streaming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I gave it 8 out of 10. Black Songbird and Last Train Coming are the standouts.
Nice. Cool. All right. What about you, Nikki?
Oh, it's no secret I'm a massive fan of this band, and it's these songs that actually got me into them originally before the EP came out previously. So I love that he's reimagined them. I think it's awesome. I'm glad they're not forgotten about. I'm glad they're brought out and everyone gets to hear them. You can't go past Songbird. What a song. Seriously, fucking hell. Like, the guy, his words, I've said it before about Jimmy. His words are outstanding, and I'm absolutely in Team Dave with the guitars. I love that they get a chance to shine as well. Like, Sonic Circus truly are the whole package to me, and, you know, you can put them in the fucking massive bloody Electric Mary ragdoll camp. They should be all over the radio, universally appealing, and it's same old that we always say. But I cannot recommend it more highly. 10, go and check it out for yourself. Don't listen to me. Listen to the music. And you can get it on Bandcamp too. I do want to add that. You have the chance to support the band directly. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you can stream it. I think this one is on Spotify.
It's on
the band on Bandcamp. That's the way to go, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm not paid to say that, and I hate Collingwood, no offense, Andrew. So it's not a football thing. It's just I love the music thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know how.
I'm glad you beat the Demons, but you know.
So am I. I'll take that every day of the week. All right, so that's you wrapped up there, Nikki?
Yeah.
Any particular songs that really speak to you again? Was it song one or?
Yeah, all of them.
Yep.
But like, because of that song, Wayne and I used to joke about if we ever got married, we'd have Jimmy sing at our wedding because Wayne just loved that song so much back in the day. We would just so into it. No, cool. I'm not planning to marry Wayne. It was just a little joke we had going.
You can hear Wayne's heart breaking from here. No, I'm joking. I knew that'd get that response out of you. I knew I played that right. Okay. I didn't mind the little atmospheric intro. I thought it was, it's the piece of really complete original new music. It is a very little atmospheric touch. I didn't mind it. It was a nice little sort of tone setter. Once it kicks over to things, though, it's great. I was familiar with these songs right from the outset. I think Dennis and I reviewed the original songs going back a few years now on the set, which is where we had, gags where Jimmy had tape on his mouth where it said like Den's bitch or something on it. There was a gag way back then. So, I've heard these songs before, but it was cool to hear them polished up, reimagined. The lyrical changes were fantastic. Like there's the use of the word vapor was very different last time around to this time around, and the changes they've made have complemented and made all these songs a lot better. I just think this is great. Like Jimmy is probably the most confident vocally that I've ever heard him to be. Going back to Dead Star Renegade over a decade ago, and to what they've done with Sonic Circus, to the demos, to the album, now to this EP, I think this is the most confident. Jimmy is now using and exploring his vocal range incredibly well without forcing anything or trying to push beyond the boundaries. And he's got a big range. He's got a lot to play with. But using it all extremely well and not forcing things has become a new strength that he's found over the years. And I think that it's a nod to him and the work he's done in his craft, excuse me, to see it coming along so well. Again, solos are going to be great on this one too. When you got a lead guitarist like Vic, how can you not have fucking great solos? He's one of the best going around. I've always loved his work too. But Alan's no slouch either, and his work on the rhythm side of things is fantastic too. I love what Alan brings to the table in this band as well. While Caesar decides to open the fucking door again, the prick. Right, now he's going to go outside. It's like the inside-outside argument. Like I said, the rewriting, re-recording of these songs, the reimagining, the little changes between lyrics and the just little things, but the way they've done atmospheric touches in this as well, it's all incredibly well put together. I love the mix. The mix is phenomenal on this one. The band have really learned how to, like, you go back to the original recordings of these songs and to this one now, and it's worlds apart. Like the sonics, the mix is just so much better. They've come a long, long way in that regard, and it sounds fucking brilliant to me. Musically, like the rewriting stuff, like the lyrics are fantastic. Like Nikki was saying, the storytelling is brilliant. But this one follows on from the album nicely. It's kept that edge that the album brought to their sound, that sort of darker, more slightly technical kind of edge, and they've applied it to these songs really, really well. But everything is very, very clever. It's really, intelligent the way it's done from top to bottom. And I think that, if you know the previous versions of these songs, then you're going to feel right at home straight away. But even if you don't, this is something that is going to get your attention very, very quickly and stay with you no matter what. There's more punch in these versions. I like the way it flows on from them, like I was saying before. You could imagine any of these songs being on the album now, whereas before they were sort of like two worlds apart. Now you can hear them being the same thing. Yeah. I think the track order is right on this. It's a quick little EP, but I've got a soft spot personally for My Princess, which used to be called Princess Blues. Now, I remember when I took a session back with the old days of this song, and there was a part where Jay, the drummer who's since passed away, sadly, him doing backing vocals with Jimmy in the studio setting was just phenomenal. And the way they've changed this song has actually brought that even more to life in mind. Not that it's got there, but just that memory always comes back to me when I hear that song. So it's got a particular soft spot to me. But it's just a brilliantly beautiful song. But you got other little things in here too, like there's Train on Last Train Coming, and there's Didgeridoo on here as well. There's little bits and pieces just to sort of make the songs flow together. This whole thing is just connected in a way that it wasn't connected before, and it's just a really big step up. If you've never checked out this band, this is the perfect place to start. If you do know them, then these songs are going to please you. This has everything you want from the album, everything and more as well. This is well done, a great little release. Hopefully more new music from these guys, like as in completely original pieces. But if this is what we got for the next couple of years after the album a couple of years ago, I'm stoked. This is pretty bloody cool. Hard to give an EP of reimagining of old songs a 10 out of 10, so I'm going to give it a 9, but fuck, it's impressive. I really loved it. But yeah, my standouts on this one are Last Train Coming and My Princess, so those are the ones for me. So all around high scores. Please do go and check it out and let us know what you think as well. And like Nikki was saying, go and support the band via Bandcamp. That is the best way to go and do so. What do we got? So Vinny says, actually has a bit of an early 2000s feel to it. Going to check them out. Nice, cool. Hopefully you enjoy it. Rowan's gone, Jimmy from THRS. Yeah, he's the vocalist. For those who have known us for a while, that's exactly who was singing on this. And I think he's come like I liked him on Dead Star Renegades album, but this, like what he does now, is just so much more. Darren says more people should be hearing these guys. Great song. There we go. Back onto the footy for a minute here. Michael says, I'm a Melbourne Demons fan and I weren't keen on Collingwood beating us. Well, my commiserations to a point, but I won't be sad personally. But there we go. That's that. And we got a random review out of Nikki tonight too, so we've done well, I think.
Completely unprepared. Like, actually, the whole thing was unprepared. I winged it.
Winged it. Yes, winged it.
Yes. All right. On that note, thanks for having me. I hope that was value. It was definitely grouse to see you both, and I get to apologise for last week. So that was a good thing.
It was good fun. Glad you joined us tonight, and glad you joined us last time as well. We'll look forward to doing more with you soon, Nikki. Don't worry about that.
All right. See you both. Take care. Good to see you.
See you, Nikki.
Bye. See ya.
All righty. What do we got here? So Darren has asked a question. Sonic seemed to be more of a project than a band. Any idea if they will play gigs anytime soon? I don't think live music, from my understanding, is high on the radar for them. I think if the right circumstances come up for live music with Sonic Circus, it'll happen. They did play a couple, but they always just had trouble with the right lineup and just getting things anchored down. So I think there's more content to be a studio band than anything else. And I know that Jimmy's got some other stuff going on with Rusty from Electric Mary and that as well. So I think Jimmy's sort of settling into the studio vibe, and we're yet to see what's going to happen next with the band. But Jimmy, I know, is busy in general. So we'll just see what comes out over the next coming months. And if I hear more, I'll let you know as soon as I can. Believe me, if they do a live show, we'll be plugging it. That's going to happen as a given. Andrew says, I've only seen Sonic Circus live, and they rock hard. So I'll definitely check this out on Bandcamp. Please do. And if you like it, check out the album as well. The album is a fucking absolutely ripping release. All righty. Move on. Got a few more things to get through before we get out of here. And Dave, this is one I know you've been desperately keen to get to. So let's get into it. This is the latest from the Cruel Intentions. There is a link in the comments in the description box to the new video and single Venomous Anonymous, which happens to be the title track of the new album. So go and check that out while we talk about this. The band is the Cruel Intentions. The song is Venomous Anonymous. That is your reference track. We do another review. This is the Cruel Intentions with, funnily enough, Venomous Anonymous, 11 tracks for 35 minutes, the long-awaited second album from the Norwegian band, released June 2022 via Indie Recordings. 3 singles have been released, including Repercussion and Sunrise Over Sunset, produced, mixed, and mastered by Eric Martinson at Mass Destruction in Sweden, but guitars and bass were recorded by bassist Mats Wernersson at his home. After forming originally in 2015, this band released their debut album, No Sign of Relief, in 2018. So let's see how the follow-up goes. And I know where Dave's going to go with this. So, Dave, get into it.
Oh, this is fucking great. The singer from this band, Liz Levine, I've been a big fan for fucking over 10 years since he was in the band called Veins of Jenna.
Yep.
And then he formed this band. They released a few singles and the previous album before this, but I didn't even know this was coming. I had no, in this day and age, not knowing that there's going to be an album released, and then just all of a sudden check out Spotify and find, oh fuck, is this a single? No, it's a full album. Fantastic. That's my morning set. But yeah, this is straight up dirty, sleazy rock and roll with lots of attitude, great hooks. I listened to this twice in a row. Then I looked at the track list. I'm just like, no, that song is just instantly infectious. Yeah. There's so many great choruses within these songs, and of course the guitar solos are fucking brilliant. And it's a very straightforward album. There's no foley or atmospheric intros or massive layering on the tracks. It's just 11 high-energy hard rock songs that range between 2.5 to 4 minutes. It's not Dream Theater. This is like the other side of my coin psyche. I love it. Yeah, they're not reinventing the wheel or anything. Nothing that we haven't heard before, but fuck, they're doing it really well. Band sounds great. Guitar tones are fantastic. The drums are nice and punchy. Lucy Devine's vocals are perfect for this type of music. He should be more well-known than he is. He's a fucking great rock and roll singer. Reminds me a bit of Wednesday 13 in his guitar tone. And I would love to see these two bands together.
I got a bit of that vibe as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So much so, the song Casket Case. Yeah. How the fuck did Wednesday 13 overlook that? That is such a dark play on words that he would do. Yeah. It's fucking brilliant. And I don't know, Wednesday missed it and Lizzie picked it up. Awesome. Yep. But that song's also cool because there's a small amount of flanger. Yeah. Everyone knows, regular viewers, I like flanger. The cool effects.
Yes, you do.
As a little side note, somebody recently asked what flanger is. They thought it was something to do with a minge. I was like, no, flanger and minge are two very different things, man. Okay, so I sometimes forget that people that don't know guitar tech don't have an actual clue what the fuck a flanger is. It's kind of a spacey sound effect, a whooshing sound. Yeah. Sounds cool on a heavy chord. Overused, it can be a bit annoying, but yeah, in moderation, it sounds very cool. Now, if your minge is making that sound, go see a fucking doctor. Two very different things. Now back to the album.
I feel like we just stepped into an episode of Dr. Phil, but all right.
It's more like what that show, The Extraordinary.
Oh my God! Wow, I haven't thought of that in a long time. All right, yeah, we'll go with that one.
That's a great show. Anyway, there's a ballad on this song, and I cannot pronounce the title because it's in Swedish. It translates to "Salt in Your Wounds." I have no idea what the lyrics are, but it doesn't matter because the feel for this song is in the vocal delivery, the melodies, and the music. Yeah, really good song right in the middle of the album. Breaks things up a bit. Now, Google Translate the title. There's no Google lyrics for the song, so I can't like copy and paste. So I got no idea. But hopefully, eventually, we'll find out. But if you're into old school 80s rock and roll, Sunset Strip, all the new stuff coming out of Finland and the European countries, from Warrant to Santa Cruz, Y&T to Kissing Dynamite, this is fucking great. Party music, driving music, drinking music. Yes. 9 out of 10. Standouts of Venomous Anonymous, Sunrise Over Sunset, Casket Case, Kerosene, the Swedish one I can't pronounce, Goddamn Monday, and Chemical Vacation.
So almost all of it.
Yeah. I didn't want to be a wanker and read out the whole thing, so I just picked some, but the whole thing.
Never go full wanker,
Never go full wanker.
Speaking of, considering the tone of the conversation a few minutes ago, this could be very interesting. With the anyway,
never go full minge.
All right, this one for me kicked off with a bang. It just keeps up pretty much all the way through. If you like your rock on the sleazy side, this is definitely going to be for you. There's some great energy on this one. The riffs, the bite in the vocals, they combine with the punchy gang vocals to really bring some impact on this one. Big hooks on this too. Like there's a gravelly tone of the vocals, sure, but there are some big time hooks in this one. Blistering lead work. This has everything you want from that sleazy, dirtier side of music. It's like the Sunset Strip days brought into today with a bit more of a gravelly tone to things overall. Some neat lyrical work in this, some nice depth to the storytelling, which is cool. It all combines to make these songs, like you said, Dave, really, really stay with you. It doesn't take long. It takes like one listen and they're going to be stuck in your head pretty quickly. There's some really cool use of groove and different tempos on this one. Some great composition. The use of space is cool. The writing is well done, and that helps those punches land. The way the songs are structured, where they sort of pull back a bit and then they sort of come in with the impact, it's really well thought out. Venomous Anonymous is a great example I'm talking about, which is how they use space and sort of come back and then land the punch. This will be a hell of a lot of fun live. You can hear and feel that in the album. It sounds great. It's all well performed. There's not, no dodgy live stuff here. It just gives you that impression that if you went and saw this live, you'd get a really good show out of these songs. Sunrise Over Sunset, I think, is a perfect song for that kind of environment in that regard. And, there's a lot of attention to detail in these songs, little Foley aspects, great use of tone and depth in this one, especially with the mix. There's some really impressive layering in there too, which is done at just the right times and just the right way, especially on the gang vocals. Like the way they layered some things in on this one was really well done. There's nothing complicated per se, but what they've done is just executed at an extremely high level to get the detail just right. I mean, Eric Martinson, if you've been following any of his work, you'll know exactly what we're talking about at this point in time. He's done great things for a while now, but this just worked perfectly. What was I saying here? Like the balance on this was cool sonically as well. This has just the right edge, especially for the vocals. These vocals, if not mixed in the way they are mixed here, could probably grate a little bit. That's the amount of tone, the tone, the style, the bite, the edge, the gravel that is in it. But the way they've done things to sort of just make it mix and blend in across the board with everything on this one, everything is equally represented and the balance is just right. It's hit that Goldilocks zone so well. There's little moments in things like Casket Case where there's like space left for the drums to really drive things before the solo. They did that a few times on this album where they sort of opened up, let the drums take over, and then the solo comes in. Really nice, really well done. Between the mix and the composition, these songs are really well done. It's funny you mentioned the song Salt it Desar, I think it is, or Ser, I forget the pronunciation entirely. Now, you enjoyed it. I thought for me that it pulled me out of the album. It didn't match the tone of the rest of the album for me. I think it's a good song. I just don't think it fit. Maybe it should have been the last track, not the middle of the album, because it really, for me, it was actually a distraction. Like I said, not a bad song, but just where it was placed on the album, how it sat there. The fact that the rest of the album is in English and that song's not, how it's such a slow, more ballady kind of track. That one didn't really quite, fit for me. I think if you'd have gone with a ballad in the middle, maybe go with Bad Vibes and then put that one at the end of the album kind of thing, that might have been a better shift for me. Okay. But yeah, it just pulled me out of the album. I found it when I was listening to it on headphones or around the place, whatever. Hang on. Oh yeah. It was a moment where it was like I said, not a bad song. It's well done, well performed. It just didn't fit right for me in the placement. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. But you went the other way. You really enjoyed where it was placed, and then the album sort of gave you the side A and B effect. So people are going to land differently on that, which is cool. Like that's what it's all about. But after that moment, though, when you get to side B of this album, you get into things like, Final Death Roll, Goddamn Monday, that little moment I'm talking about for that song, it skips by and you strap back into things really, really quickly. Like I said, Bad Vibes would be the one that I'll put like more in the middle of the album. That's the kind of slower track that I wanted out of this one. That was the one that I really enjoyed. That one was a good song. That apart from that, the placement of that one track, if you swap those things around, I'd have probably, given like perfect album flow. Just disrupts things for me. Like you said, they're not reinventing anything. It's not, breaking new ground, but you don't need to when you do it this well. All these songs, like that critique I've got is very, very small. Very, very small. This is a fucking phenomenal album. And I just think that if you're like the quote going around for these guys that they're the bastard child of Hanoi Rocks and Guns N' Roses, and that certainly really fits the description nicely for these guys. That's a perfect description. So if you like anything that sounds like that, you're going to enjoy this one. If you like it, hard and edgy with a lot of sleaze to it, but still plenty of melody, lots of bite too, give this one a go. I think a lot of people that follow us are going to enjoy this one as well. Mm-hmm. Great writing, production, and performances across the board. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Venomous Anonymous, Goddamn Monday, and Chemical Vacation, my standouts on this one for sure. Got some comments here, so let's see what we got here. All right, let's get back to it. Nicole, got a buzz out of here. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry I got to this a bit later, but hopefully you've had a good night and hopefully catch up on the rest later on. Darren says, very anthemic songs, all in and out before you know it. Yes, very true on this one. That's very, very cool. Here's a good one. Vinny says, getting a Black Veil Brides vibe on this one. Cracking track. So that's I'll pay that as well, actually. That's cool. Nikki's here saying it sounds dirty when we're talking about the minge and the flange and that kind of stuff. So there. And when it says going to the doctor, good advice from Dave. So don't go to a doctor. For anything at all, don't listen to us. Go to a doctor. Nikki says, okay, Dave, you may want to check it out, which is cool. And Nikki's saying that I'm solidifying her need to listen to this. That's cool. Awesome. Dave's giving us the ballad title there. Rowan says, isn't Flanger the neighbor from The Simpsons? Now, that's an interesting
Dead Flanger.
a biblical flanger. Now, that could be interesting. And Andrew Marshall, he's joined us on YouTube. Thanks for jumping in. He's going, love the reference track. Another one to add to the list. Cool. Awesome. Loving that people are getting into these ones as well. All righty. Now the one that Dave had to cram to get this one done today. So we'll see how you go with it. We're going to change pace. We're going to go back to the heavy stuff with the latest from Kreator. So in the link is in the comments, in the description box. You know what to do by now. Check it out. The band is Kreator. The song is Become Immortal. That is what we are going with as your reference track for this one. If you like it heavy and thrashy, this is for you. So check that out while we go and do another review here. This is Kreator with Hate über Alles. 11 tracks for 46 minutes. The 15th studio album from the German band, released June 2022 via Nuclear Blast Records. Produced by Arthur Rizik at Hunter Ton Studio in Berlin. 3 singles have been released, including Midnight Sun and the title track. This album comes after the longest gap between studio albums in the band's career so far, and is the first with bassist Friedrich Lesierk, I think it's pronounced. This album also sees the band collaborating with a female artist for the first time in their career, with Sophia Portenet making an appearance on the track Midnight Sun as well. Dave, how'd you go?
Yeah, went really well, actually. I'm not really familiar with this band much, but based off this album, I got to go back over their past 40-year career and catch up.
Yeah.
This is unrelenting as fuck. This is thrash metal loaded with double bass drumming, frantic riffs, and epic fucking solos.
Yes.
And it's all done exceptionally well. The vocals are the right type of harsh, raw, powerful, and most importantly, coherent. This is the type of metal singing that you need over this type of music. It's fucking great. Now, for a band that's been around for 40 years, this album puts a lot of younger bands to shame. The playing on here is nothing short of impressive. And these guys, they'd have to be late 50s at the least.
Oh, yeah. And
the energy on this is insane. Yeah. And there's so much going on in these songs. It's all captured really well. It's remarkably clear considering the amount of distortion and the speed of these performances. The title track, what an awesome guitar solo. And very cool fade out towards the end. So something that was some ear candy there. Crush of the Tyrants. Slower track, moderate pace considering the rest of the album, but it's a slower. It's not slow, it's slower compared. And once again, excellent solo. It's rooted in 80s thrash, but it doesn't sound dated or recycled at all. It's fresh sounding, and then the energy and the performances just help bring that out. It's enthusiastic. They're not going through the motions or anything. The Conquer and Destroy, there's a lot more dynamics and diversity than you might think. So that's a really cool track. And the epic closing track, Dying Planet, the ominous note choices and that spoken word thing that goes out towards the end. This is music that's perfect for barbecues, drinking, and raising the devil with satanic rituals. Good shit. 8.5 out of 10. Hate Uber Allies, Become Immortal, and Conquer and Destroy. This is fucking good album.
It is impressive. It's classic Teutonic thrash. It's taking no prisoners at all, this one. After a nice little intro on this, you just get straight off and running, and my God, the title track is an absolute ball terror. Hate über Alles was just, oh my God. That gets your attention and you sit there and go, fucking, what the hell is this? And it's just, that could be one of my songs for the year. I fucking love it. There is great attack all the way through this. There's pounding riffs and rhythms all across it. The lead work just blasts everything into oblivion, though, when that comes in. Like the guitar solos, and this is just fucking phenomenal. I mean, I'm never going to talk about them the way that you talk about it, but Jesus Christ, they're impressive. This swings across the board so incredibly hard. It's funny how this is just so impactful. I loved how balanced it is. It's bludgeoning, but it's never punishing, if that makes sense. It's always hitting you in the head, but it's never like you're tired. It just fires you up and you want to take another hit kind of thing. It's just give me more the whole way through. The attack in the playing carries over in the lyrics on this one too. They're pulling no punches at all. Like you mentioned the last track, Dying Planet. Like the storytelling, the lyrical bite, like they're making a point. They're not here to fuck spiders. Like they are going straight at it, and they're having a grand old time doing it. There's no prisoners being taken across the board on this one too. But yeah, like you were saying, there's no slow moments, but there are slower moments. So it's like when the truck is going full pelt down the highway, and then they're still going into as they're changing gears to go a bit lower so they can crank it while they're going up the hill kind of thing. So it's just that little bit slower, but no less intense. So tracks like Crush the Tyrants are really well done on this one too. They're placed just right in the album, those little slower moments. Not slow, but just slower. Just a good little gear change, like going back one gear kind of thing. And those give you just the right amount of time to take a breath before the next crushing track comes on straight after, which is just brilliant. There's little things like reverse effects and finer details that break these songs up as well. So different songs have different things going on in them. Also use of things like harmonic lead work break songs up as well. That was a really nice touch to these ones too. And all that is also another sort of thing where they use the drumming and the space allowed for the drums to come into another way to break up songs too. And so they've avoided the thing where everything is going pretty full on, but no two songs sound alike. They are all brilliantly little individual pieces of music for one reason or another. They all have their own little standout touch to them, which is fantastic for a thrash album that's as heavy as this is. The mix is writing this all hard. It's writing it hard, but in the best way. It's almost running too hot on the compressor, but they just dial it back from the edge just before a clip goes over the edge, starts clipping on things. I think that the gang vocals being back a little bit adds to this one too, and the use of reverb on this was really well done too. Like the little details, like just high execution once again. Not a glossy album. It's got plenty of grit and punch, but everything's just so well balanced and it just sits just right. I think that overall, if you're going to go for balance, like in tonal aspects, it's a bit bottom heavy, but that suits what these guys are doing. There's plenty of top end in this. It's just that it is more weighted toward the bottom end. But that, because of where the vocals sit in the top end on the guitar, it just is a really nice balance of things overall. And I love how across this one you can hear every little attack on the notes. Like everything has its attack on it. You can just hear it perfectly. Midnight Sun is a nice little different track on this one too. The addition of Sophia Portnett was really nicely done. And it adds a haunting layer that's another reason why each song stands out. Her addition on that song was really well done. Just her slower, cleaner vocal over the more aggressive vocal from Millie was just fucking well done. A great contrast. And toward the back end of the album, it's a nice little touch there to keep you engaged. This has everything you want out of an album like this, and then some. There's plenty to say on this, but it's delivered incredibly well with great attack. Just dialed back just enough so nothing is over the top. If you're a fan of this band or thrash in general, this is something you have got to check out this year. The closing track, Dying Planet, was a great way to wrap this up as well. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Hey Huberalas, Strongest of the Strong, and Dying Planet on my standouts on this one. Fantastic release. That was really well done. Comments. Vinny says 40 years and still going strong. Yes, they've been around for a while, and we're going to be hopefully teeing up a little Teutonic Thrash battle series for our deep cuts coming up later in the year too. That'll be a bit of fun to go back in time on. Darren says Kreator, awesome, great album, gets better with each listen. That's true as well. The more you spend time with this one, it's fucking brilliant. Andrew says, love the musicianship of Kreator. Not sure about the vocals. We'll give it a listen through the headphones. Please do. I think it's fantastic. And Edge Crusher, good to see you. Thanks for joining us over on YouTube. Going, great band, great album, so underrated. Yes, they probably are a bit underrated overall in the grand scheme of things, but yes, they are a great band. Well done all round. Alrighty, one to go, and it's this week's classic album. So in the comments, in the description box, go and check out this little clip from Dio. The song is All the Fools Sailed Away. The artist is Dio. I had to go with that one from this album because it's the perfect choice. So again, the reference track for you is Dio. The song is All the Fools Sailed Away. Please do check it out if you haven't if you don't know that song, you're going to be impressed in just a minute. But yeah, We'll get to that review in just one moment. Quick little comment here. Darren says, Dave, check out Pleasure to Kill and Extreme Aggression. So there you go. There's some old ones to check out as well. Nicely done. Thank you, Darren, for sharing. Alrighty. So, while you're all checking out Dio and the song All the Fools Sailed Away, we're going to do this week's classic Patreon choice review. This is Dio with Dream Evil. 9 tracks, 44 minutes. The 4th studio album from the American band, released July 1987 by Warner Brothers and Vertigo. Produced by Ronnie James Dio at the Village in Los Angeles. 2 singles were released in I Could Have Been a Dreamer and All the Fools Sailed Away. The album peaked number 43 in the US, number 8 in the UK, number 58 here in Australia, while also charting well in Europe and Canada. This album was the last before major changes for the band, as the whole lineup, aside from Dio himself, would be changed on the next album, Lock Up the Wolves, with bassist Jimmy Bain not returning until 2000's Magica, and drummer Vinny Appice not returning until 1993 with Strange Highways. This also marked the last time that the mascot for the band, Murray, would appear on an album cover. And like I was saying, this is this week's Patreon Choice album review. So if you want to get involved in the voting of that, go and check out our Patreon page. The link for that is in the description box, and you can get involved in the voting on this one. Alrighty, Dave. It's a classic album, isn't it? How'd you go?
Oh, it is. It's a shame that the lineup changed after this because, 4th album into the Dio, and, Dio and the band, they were on top of their game here. I don't know why the wheels fell off after this. It's a shame, but it has been ages since I've listened to this, so it's such a good thing to be able to come back and give it a revisit. You think about the image and the idea of 80s metal, whether it's Priest or Metallica, you think speed, aggression, and even what Wasp or Van Halen were doing. Dio just had their own niche. It's very much traditional heavy metal, but it wasn't like what anyone else was doing. And as much as it is a product of the 80s, it was very much influenced by the 70s as well. Dio kept something from his previous work, and he always had that throughout his career. And I think that's what set his music apart. It's not playing as fast as you can. It's not straight out aggression. It's loaded and packed with melody, and there's breathing space to the compositions, and it gives Dio that chance to do what he does above everything else. It sounds ridiculous compared to, thinking back then, but comparing it to now and all the different types of metal and how much it's branched into different areas. But going back to something like this, it's just an easy, fun listen. At the time, you wouldn't be calling it easy listening, but compared to now, it's just fun to go back and hear an album that's just not about wankery, just getting good songs, great performances out of everybody. And this is a timeless album. It's a bit underappreciated, I think, because you're not 987. There was a lot going on at the time. You don't hear this in conversations about that year all that much, which is a shame because this is a solid album from start to finish.
It's fantastic.
Great riffs, great solos, everything you need to make a classic hard rock heavy metal album. You also have keyboards. Keyboards were probably frowned upon in the 80s, but fuck, they helped round out the sound. They become this whole other thing from the 90s onwards, but 80s it was kind of popish. A lot of bands like Maiden were even saying no keyboards, and then they did.
But then they used them.
Then they used them. Everyone's criticizing it until you realize that, hey, this actually helps fill out the sound. I think Naked in the Rain, that was a great example of the keyboards used well in here. That's a fucking great song. Now, I never got to see Dio live, and I have no interest in seeing the hologram, but Night People, that would have been a highlight of a Dio concert. I can just imagine everyone just on Dio's notes and just singing along. Epic solo on that song too. Good diverse listen. You have dramatic compositions like Naked in the Rain with the epic solo, and then you have a song like Overlove, which has that funky riff all the way throughout. That always puts me in mind of The One from Van Halen. I'm the one. But it's just you don't hear a lot of that type of compositions and playing as much as you should anymore. Cause just a song like that just makes an album something different. It's not just the same song over and over, the same style. Bands should fuck around their sound a little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole album different to what the band usually does, but just give us something that's show us what you can do as musicians. Might work, might not, but this overall it's just a fun album from a better carefree time where things were simple. 8 out of 10. Night People, Naked in the Rain, and I Could Have Been a Dreamer.
35 years old this year, this album, and I agree with you that I think it is a bit overlooked. I know that diehard metalheads and that will know Dio and love it, but I was thinking the general conversation that this band and this album is a bit overlooked. I'm not saying it's the best album of the year kind of thing, but it's worth, being in the conversation of, being in your top 10 to top 20 of the year kind of a thing. Right from the opening keyboard hit, you're taken back to a different place in time. Like you were saying, life was a bit simpler back then, but this takes you back in all the right ways. There's no cringe or whatever in this one. This just takes you back in all the good ways. If you like your really energetic 80s sort of traditional heavy metal, this is going to be for you for sure. One thing about Dio's work that I've always admired is just how the vocals and the lyrics always stand out. This album is just another fine example of that. His power vocally is impressive, but the way he uses that to accent his storytelling and how good his stories are, it's just fantastic. It's a great 1-2 combination. There are very, very few that did it ever as well as Dio was able to do it. Musically and sonically, it's held up pretty well for an 87 album. It's got the typical touches from the era. It is a bit time-stamped in a little way, but there's a little bit of heat on the compression, a bit, like when you hear when the vocals really get driven, you can just hear a touch of compression or clipping creeping in, but it still sounds almost live when you're listening to it kind of thing. Like, all these years later, it still sounds like you're almost listening to a live performance, which makes all those things just sort of go skating by the awareness. So someone as picky as I am, I just go, fuck it, because it just feels real and visceral and in your face. It's polished up. It's got everything you want out of the studio, but it just has that live feel. It's got this vibe, this energy to it, which you can't deny. I love the rhythm and the groove across this. I reckon that aspect of this lineup was so good. And like you're saying, I don't know what happened and why it happened. And it's a shame because the way this thing just made you move when you're listening to it, I wish they'd have kept going kind of thing. This is one of those albums that if you're taking this album in full for the 45 minutes, it's hard not to move along with it. The different tempo and all that sort of stuff is just great. The pound and the use of time changes, tracks like Sunset, Superman was really good. That adds to the sort of dramatic impact of these songs. Great push and pull across all this album from top to bottom. And speaking of drama, All the Fools sailed away. Sorry, great storytelling, both lyrically and in the composition. Both things tied together hand in hand nicely. And the placement of that track is really well done on the album. Like the whole album flow is just nailed. Like every aspect of this is just veterans doing it very, very well. I love the tones across this. It's a little bit older, sure, but it's got that vintage feel and crunch to it. It still sounds remarkably clean though. Like, hey, you can hear absolutely everything. The vocals just shine on this one. But I thought that, like you mentioned, the blending of the synth work and the guitars was really intelligent on this one. The synth is not overpowering at all. It's just a nice little finesse to the sound wall. It's done just right. The drums and the bass really punch through and drive this thing nicely. And all that is combined with the lead work is the perfect platform for Dio to go and do what Dio does best. And they nailed it, every single part of this. It's funny because it all fell apart, but there's no trace of ego in this at all. Not a single trace of ego. Everything done here serves the songs perfectly. Talk about the lead work again briefly here. It is a great compliment to Dio and his work. It does, give you a 1-2 trade-off with those two aspects going there. All this sort of stuff adds a bit of extra bite, a bit of an edge to things. But also because of Dio's vocal and his delivery, there's also this class to things as well. But yeah, for me, though, I really can't get over the rhythm of this album. I just love the way it moves. It all fits together so well. Everyone's nailed their part. Everything fits together. Little things like there's a bit of a drum shift in the way it's performed and recorded on Overlove. I thought that was a really nice touch when they're using more of the tom sound and the snare sound for the rhythmic hit, which is really cool. It's a small little thing for a few bars, but it was just one of the moments you then go, fuck, that was really well thought out. And the way that opened up into the solo, that song, how that let the drums and the bass really take over for a bit there before the solo kicked in, that was a nice touch too, and that holds up well today. And again, it's like what we did with the Kreator album before. Everything stands out in its own unique way. They're all very different songs, but they all tie together really nicely. Easy to see why It Could Have Been a Dreamer was the lead single from this one. It's got a great hook in it, perfect for radio at the time as well. That song still holds up well today as well. And the thing about this one overall is that the songs just are memorable. They stay with you, and even the ones that the songs that grab you, that get your attention, they just don't let go. It's so easy to repeat spin. I think that's one of those ones too that everyone will find different songs that grab their attention most of all. Like it's going to be something here for everyone. It's old school. It's well done. I have a feeling that, like you were saying, this is well overlooked. I just think this could do with a bit more attention, a bit more love. Another solid album from these guys. Hard to fault. I love Dio's work in general, but this is one of the better ones for mine. I really did enjoy this one. I just think it's well written, performed, and produced from top to bottom. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Dream Evil, Sunset Superman, and All the Fools sailed away on my standouts on this one. This is a fantastic album. It's a genuine classic, so please do go and check it out. Got a couple of comments here on this one. So what do we got here? Vinny says, Dio is the consummate storyteller. And yes, I would completely agree with that statement there. Rowan says, would Dave see Paul Stanley singing along to a backing track of Dio singing Dio songs?
Interesting.
I'm going to say no.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's
Yeah.
really weird. That's
Yeah.
like alternative world stuff.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
I agree. Darren has said here too, like, this is not the best Dio album, but it doesn't get the credit it deserves. Craig Goldie gets bagged a lot, but he is a good guitarist. He is very good on this one. I think he is a bit unfairly treated. Vinny also says his work on Heaven and Hell with Sabbath, that's a masterclass in vocals. That is very, very true as well. I will definitely agree with that. And Basher says, Dio, Dream Evil, great vocals and songs, heavy sound, very good album. Fave song, I Could Have Been a Dreamer. Nicely put there too. Thank you for sharing that with us too, Basher. Greatly appreciated. We are planning on also doing a deep dive into Dio a bit later this year as well, if everything goes to plan. So more on that to come with our deep cuts format. But I think that's about getting toward the end of things, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, you can got it all done.
Got it all done. So a quick thank you to some Patreon supporters in particular. So I got TC, Sonia, Lee, Bell, Conrad, Jason, Brendan, 16x9, Marty, Sam, Trash, Carolyn, Gwyneth, Andrew, Daniel, and the Man family as well. Thank you all so much for your fantastic support. Please do check out our Patreon page. The link for that is in the description box if you'd like to do so. Just starts at a couple of bucks a month Australian, and you can go wherever you want from there. And just helps us to get more done here behind the scenes. What do we got? So Thursday nights, check us out on Channel 44 in Adelaide, 10 p.m. local time. That is, what's this one? This one tomorrow night, as we do this, is going to be our Tim taking over and doing a bit of a thing on the Black Dahlia murder. So that's coming up tomorrow night on Channel 44 in Adelaide. But every Thursday night on that network, 10 p.m. local time, or you can tune in via ctvplus.org.au. Sorry. Same thing with Saturday nights on Channel 31 in Melbourne, 10:30 p.m. local time. Again, you can watch it on ctvplus.org.au. And the episode this week is Dave, you and I going through some newer tunes and some local stuff that's been out and about as well. So you and I get to go and have some fun there. Again, coming up this Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. local time in Melbourne on Channel 31. Check it out via UTV or via ctvplus.org.au. What else? Then we've got, coming up in the TV side of things, we've got more of you and I and other people actually jumping in and going some new stuff. So Tim joined us for some of those ones. Then we're planning on our 2-hour special coming up in not this Saturday, next Saturday, is all to do with cameo appearances in music videos, which would be a bit of fun there. That's coming up. So Nikki was there for that one too, as well as Tim and you and I. And then we got, next month we're planning on doing a bit of a Bon Jovi hour. Then we'll have a lot of stuff going on with that sort of thing too. And then we're going to have an audience choice sort of by request one coming up as well. And then the theme for the 2-hour special presentation is going to be things we found and loved over the last 10 plus years of the Hard Rock Show, coming up at the end of July. So that's what's coming up very, very soon. On the deep cut side of things, like next week in theory, we'll be doing something along the lines of, let me see what I've got here. Right after midnight, they dropped a new album this week, so we're going to talk about that one next week as well. So, Dave, here's a little heads up for you. And the classic album will be Whitesnake as well, so that's coming out, and then we'll work out the other ones as we go through things in due course. And then we're going to be finishing off Armored Saint and then getting onto the Beatles versus Stones, and then we'll move on to other things beyond that. There'll be a few bits and pieces in there, like some Torture albums in those ones as well, and some top 10 stuff from last year. There's going to be a few things to get through. So there's a lot going on. So make sure you stick around and check things out behind the scenes and all the extra content we do online in general and on the TV stuff as well. Heaps going on, heaps and heaps and heaps. If you want to send us a submission or whatever else, then do it to the email address in the description box as well. It's media@thehardrockshow.com. That is the best way to get through to us at some point in time. Just give us a few days to respond, because it does take a lot of time to get through everything we get through. You'll get several hundred emails a week, which is pretty nuts when you break it all down. I think that's about it, though. I think we're sort of getting there. So what have we got here? We've got a few more comments here. Let's go. Okay. Vinny's going to bring out the bin. We're getting there in just a second. Michael, good to see you. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. He's going, Craig Goldie had a different feel when Dio played Melbourne Festival Hall, which was before this album, but he did a good job. That tour was the Sacred Heart tour. Okay, cool.
Nice. All righty. I wasn't there for that one, but I'm glad you were able to share that with us. Thank you very much, Michael, for jumping in and sharing that with us. Andrew says, will I be seeing Andrew at the Bendy on Saturday for Hell's Abyss? Unfortunately, no. I would love to, but I do have a chunk of editing to get done for TV. If I don't use it on the weekends, I won't get it done. So it's harder and harder to get the gigs at the moment with the amount of stuff we've got going on. We've got a lot of things coming up over the next 12 months, which is seeing me extremely time poor these days at the moment. But hopefully, I'll be able to fix that in the near future. We'll see how we go. What do we got here? Darren says, yep, saw it at Festival Hall. Just a shame he followed Vivian Campbell. Well, there we go. And then we got Vinny saying we need a visual explanation of differences between a flanger and a minge from Dave. I'll leave you to work. That can be your homework for next time, Dave.
How am I going to manage this and keep us on a stream? Fuck.
I don't know. But we can do this. I know. We can do this, though. We got the call for it. So bringing out the bin. Here we go. Dave, what are you feeding the bin this week?
Yeah, low-hanging fruit, but we're all in the same boat. Rising cost of living. It's really hard for everyone. So I don't know what the hell the next few months are going to bring for everyone. But, yeah, it's not going to be too fun. Going to have to cut out a few things. But, yeah, it sucks. In the bin. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with something serious, but a bit niche. But this is the Sydney Morning Herald, that whole publication, and basically Murdoch Media in general, for fuck's sake. But this one is a direct one because I'm not a Rebel Wilson fan at all. I find her movies and stuff annoying, to be honest. But there is no place in the media for you to go and use someone else's relationship as fodder for your story. For those that haven't paid attention to this, what basically happened is that Rebel ended up somehow in a same-sex relationship, which is whatever, I don't give a shit. But the Sydney Morning Herald were going to publish a story on her newfound love and gave her 2 days to reply to their questions before they were going to publish it with or without her consent to publish the story. So she hadn't made it public that she was in a relationship yet. She hadn't done any of those things. So she was basically forced to go online and come out against her desired timing because a major publication was going to go and out her basically in public, which is extremely shameful. You don't do that. Now, I don't care who you are. If you work in the media, you might have a thing where it's your story, okay? If you're a journalist or a reporter, whatever else, it's your story. Never, ever forget you're talking about someone else's life. Mm-hmm. It's their life, and that's more important than your story. I don't give a fuck who you are. So that kind of treatment of people can go straight in the bin. Don't ever do it. It's disgraceful behavior, and a major media masthead in this country should know better. And if we had proper laws, they'd be stripped of their journalistic license or whatever it is. They should be out of business. Fuck them. Really can't stand that crap. It's so destructive and not called for. Don't do that to people. Don't do it. No, it's not your place. It's their life. But there we go. That's my serious spin for this evening. So there we go. Here we go. We got a few ones here. Rowan says, I can't afford to put something in the bin, and that's probably going to be something to worry about very soon. I'm glad I've got this one on standby at all times, but there's a reason why there's a paper tag on it that my daughter made. So there we go. Vinny says, celebrity court case is being televised. Honestly, we didn't ask for it. In the bin. I agree with that. I know that Dave's had a bit of fun on Facebook with the meme territory on it.
I think it was justified.
Okay.
She outed him via the media. He gets to defend himself via the media. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
All right. I just think the whole thing's a shit show, personally. Just whatever. I don't see the need for it, but hey, whatever. I think I found it more to be a thing of rich people complaining about rich people things. Didn't really help the individual, a day-to-day person, per se. What do we got here? Darren says, boycott the Sydney Morning Herald. Yes, I completely agree with that. And it's a good one. But Edge Crusher also said about when I was having my rant before. Great call, Andrew. Thank you for the support on that one. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. Don't do it. And Andrew says, lettuce in the bin. When it's costing as much as it does, when it really doesn't need to cost as much as it does, when it's, 80+% water? Fuck off.
It's going to end up in the bin because no one's going to fucking buy it for that price. Waste.
Fuck me. I'm not going to buy an iceberg lettuce for $6. You can fuck off.
No.
It's just not going to happen. Oh, here we go. Shots fired. Lee, good to see you, buddy. He's going Paul Stanley in the bin. So Don't know if you caught the earlier topic tonight, but yeah, that's a good one. Well played, good sir. Thank you for chiming in there. But I think that's about it. I won't bore everyone with the long outro this time around. I'll just play the normal, which will go straight to a blank. I'll update the opening and closing credit sort of stuff with new blooper and that very, very soon as well. But I think that's it. Is there anything else you wanted to add here, Dave, before we get on out?
I think I've incriminated myself enough tonight. I think I'll shut up now.
All righty. Well, on that note, thank you all so much for joining us. We're back again, same time, place next week. Thank you all for your company, and hopefully we'll see you all again very, very soon. Until next time, though, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
As always,
drink up.
Whoa. Sorry, I fucked up there. Went too early. So,
drink up.
Yeah, and rock on, in theory.
There we go.
See you soon, folks.